background. All right, go ahead.
Welcome to Week 11 of the AFC East Shakedown. We are on my channel, the Jets Life Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony, being accompanied here with representative from Mafia Sports Report, Tommy, talking about the Orchard Park Bills. We got Zach talking about the New England Patriots from Pats Today. And then Curtis
talking about the 2024 Dolphins. Super Bowl champions, the Miami Dolphins, for the Jets starting this week. Sorry, I had to do that.
I like how Curtis, I think your internet's a little off, so it just froze on you, like going on that.
Nice. Oh, great.
So yeah.
So you get for talking trash.
I was like fist up like this, like for like a few seconds here. So we got Curtis's passion on there really quick. So yeah.
Desperation, sadness.
Curtis is definitely excited. So I guess let's get things opened up here. Let's talk about your Dolphins getting a big win on the road against the Rams. So talk to us, Curtis. How did you feel about this game and the results in there?
Well, in typical Dolphins fashion, we get a victory that we can kind of celebrate, and then we're called soft by our former player. Then we have we cut our linebacker, which was a good move. But why didn't we do that in the offseason? And then Jalen Ramsey's injured in practice. Then he's miraculously healed, and now Tehran's injured. So salt in the wounds. I enjoyed the victory. It's basic, you know. As sad as it is, our offensive line's terrible, but there was even worse. And both offensive lines were folding throughout the game. Ours held out a little bit more, and we managed to win. Season would have been over. We're one game at a time. You know, it's like an alcoholic, one day at a time for my Dolphins. It was a good game. Our defense came up pretty big. Tua was ugly, but so was Stafford. But Tua showed, some stuff in the big plays in the second half. I don't know what to take from it, man. It was good when I felt good, but how good can you feel at 3-6? So we'll see. We're getting closer to battling with you, brother. And then even if we don't win this year and we take you down to Chinatown, third place, I think I'll feel a little bit better. So that's it, man. The Dolphins are just, nothing's going to be really proven until week 14 against Green Bay on the road. Then we'll see what we got. So yeah. Nice, cute. It was cute.
Yeah. It's a nice win against a tough opponent. The Rams were coming in there on fire. I mean, they're on a little bit of a win streak there. Yeah. I think most pundits probably had this as a win for the Rams. But yeah, your defense did show up. Sanders with those 3 big kicks, including that the kick that basically put the score away. Yeah, he's a legit kicker. I mean, he's someone you got to keep around for a long time. He
chokes every now and then when you really need him most. So for the most part, he's pretty good, though.
Yeah, he's pretty solid. Tommy, what's your takes on this game?
I had the Rams winning this game, but listen, the Dolphins defense showed up.
You were wrong.
I was wrong. They were on a winning streak. They're at home. I mean, the Dolphins, are the Dolphins this year. But the defense actually showed up. And not only did the defense show up, they showed up in the second half where Miami's defense has been kind of bad over the last, 3 or 4 games in the second half. Yeah, exactly. So this time they didn't. They kept the Rams out of getting a touchdown. So that was key. I still think the Dolphins offense is a little shaky. But Tua could also be just knocking off some rust as well. Looking at the stats, Tua 20 for 28, 207, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The one thing I did not like from Tua, which Curtis did not mention, was the interception and him trying to tackle the player with his head. Not too smart, Tua. And I don't know if he's out there trying to prove a point. That he, could take hits. Listen, not smart, Curtis. Not smart. Good. Listen, listen, Curtis. It's whatever now. But if he got knocked out, I promise you would have done a video going, "Why? Why did Tua do that?" I promise you would have. It's not a smart idea to do that. I'm not saying he shouldn't have gone for the tackle, but come on, you can't do that, Curtis, especially knowing what you've been going through. And I know that fans and everyone else would have been saying why, and they already are asking why he did that. He's risking another injury, a concussion. He's risking losing more time off the field, which hurts the Miami Dolphins. So let's say he gets a concussion there. Now he's out again. Now you're missing more to it. Now you're getting more L's stacked up on your season. So no, it wasn't smart. You can debate it all you want, but I promise
it's not
that you wanted to have
or not. Listen, if the guy can't take a hit, then it's time for hit. It's time for him to move on.
But that's not a hit. But you think that's a hit, or is that him tackling improper?
I don't know. To me,
come on, Curtis. That's not a hit.
It showed me that he can take a hit. He's not made of glass. The guy definitely has got an injury issue. I mean, he's got an injury issue without a doubt. But if he was made of glass, if he was paper mache, like we were concerned with, then neither side of head should have wrung him out and sent him to the sidelines.
Possibly.
I don't think he should do it again. But for me, what it said is, hey, look. You got to play this game with some sort of abandon. You also got to be a little bit smarter. I wouldn't want him to do it again, but he did it, and at least this guy's not made of paper mache. So don't. He took a lot of hits that night. He took a lot of hits. His back of his head bounced off that carpet a couple of times on some sacks. So at this point, either you've got this whole thing for me is in a final exam that goes from Greer, McDaniel, Tua. You got to just look. I don't think the Dolphins are doing anything this year. I think it's a fantasy. I think it's a media-driven.
No, they're not. Yeah.
Try to keep
I'm with you.
Chris Greer in power and run it back next year. So, look, for me, I don't think it was the greatest thing. But from what I saw that first concussion against you, I'm like, this guy's made of paper mache. I'm like, this guy shouldn't play at all. But he took a lot of hits, especially the one on the side of the head. And it shows me that, look, maybe that was just he definitely has an injury thing, but I'm happy to see it. He shows that he can at least stand up to some stuff. And I think he might be a piece going forward because you cannot have a paper mache quarterback. Look at Jimmy G and how that was. I
think he is paper mache, Curtis. I think you're dead wrong about Tua. If you follow Tua's career since high school, the guy's had major injuries throughout high school and college and in the NFL.
Very few. Even coming into the league.
Listen, that's not true. He missed a lot of time in college. He missed for Bama. He missed a shit ton of time already in the NFL. He's had issues, major issues, not just concussion related. He is like, if you're going to point out a quarterback in the NFL right now who is paper mache, that like you say, or injury prone, I would say Tua is. I would say Tua is up on that list.
Oh, without a doubt.
He's in the Jimmy right now with how serious his injuries have been. But
Jimmy G, yes, Jimmy G's had some bad injuries, but he hasn't had concussions like that. Like he's had some season-ending injuries, but the problem with Tua is
it's all the same thing.
No, brain injuries are totally different than knee injuries, Curtis. I don't think he can. Now, mind you, last year he did. Sure, the football guys were on his side. And like you said, this hit here, sure, it didn't take him out, right? But who's to say the next one won't? Because that's how it's gone for Tua. I'm just saying, like, he can't do that, is all I'm saying.
I agree that I would agree that he should be wiser. But for me, it's like, just, when you play football, it's an abandon. You got to play with a certain level of, so look. I even remember bringing this to you about Allen, and you're like, well, you can't take the player out of the player.
You did. Absolutely. But what's the difference between, but what is the difference between Allen and Tua? Allen, so far in his career, absolutely. And in his career, he's actually only missed 4 games in his rookie year with an arm injury. Other than that, pretty healthy. So Now, if he was getting hurt all the time or concussed, I'd say, yeah, Curtis, he needs to dial it back.
He just keeps playing through.
Yeah, but it's a difference between him and Tua. He's like Terminator, exactly. So I'll take it, and that's up to him. But I'm just saying, Tua. All I'm saying is Tua needs to, if he wants to be in the NFL long term, and he wants to help this team, and he wants to be the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, he has to play smarter. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
I think,
all right, I'm done with my rant.
I think there's one. I think there's a certain level of he thinks the Dolphins are moving off him, and I think
it could be. You might be right with that as well.
He's playing in a way that he's trying to prove something. I think more than just to this team. I think because when he came back from that injury, you should see him. He was nasty. He was unhappy. And it was like, almost like, why am I out for 4 weeks? You know what I mean? So I think there's some stuff going on in the background too, you know? So, I mean, I agree.
Contract though? Like, did they give him a big contract? And like,
oh yeah, but they can get out of it. Look what they did with Wilson. They can always get out of it. You know,
sure. There's always a way.
You know, they might take a hit or something, but you know, let's say the Dolphins crap out. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Say like Dolphins crap out. And they fire their GM, they fire their coach, and they got like a top 5 pick, and they got one of the quarterbacks. All you do is draft a quarterback. New guy comes in and says, "We're getting rid of Tua, eat the hit, and we're going to get a bunch of people and restart." You could easily, you know, you take the hit, but you could move on. You know, I think someone's going to have. If this team fails, somebody's got to get sacrificed. And I know Chris Greer, he's a snake, and the first guy up would be Tua.
So I hear what you're saying with the whole, you know, obviously if they're in a position to pick a quarterback, they likely pick quarterbacks, so on and so forth. But if they move on from Tua at the end of this year, I'm looking at like their cap ramifications next year. It looks like they take on $44 million cap hit.
Oh, yeah.
And for a team that only has $3 million in cap space, I mean, that's a lot of roster gymnastics that would have to I hear what you're saying. I mean, obviously there's a possibility to that, but it's an unlikely possibility in my opinion. I think he plays out next year, similar to Daniel Jones. He got 2 years after that big contract. Giants probably walk away at the end of this year. In 2026, I'm looking at the caps, and you know, at that point, you know, you still take it. Well, actually, you get cap savings. You would still pay him about $25 million, but you save about $31 million in the cap. That's a season where I think you can make a decision. Obviously, you're still eating $25 million of his $50 million that year, but it's at least something that you can work with outside of, you know, next year. I just don't see a possibility unless there's something written in the contract. Like,
no, there's other players though. We have like a lot of high, like, so we got Chubb who's $24 million. You can move off him. Tehran, you can move off him. You know, like if I'm a GM, I walk in there, I am gutting this thing year one, and I'm taking my hit, taking my losses, getting my pick, and then I'm moving forward. I'm going to move off Tehran. I'm going to try to trade Hill. I'm going to move off Chubb. You know, I'm going to get rid of some of these, and each one of these guys making 20-something million. You know, so
and you'll get cap savings for all those guys. I mean, I'm not looking at every single player, but what good does it do to save a lot of money in cap if you're just going to cut a player that eats up all that cap savings? Is what I'm saying. So
because like if you bring Tua in and he's got injury problems and you don't trust him, if he goes down for an extended period of time, you're still eating it anyway, and then you're pushing that issue forward. So, you know, if you get rid of Tua or if you keep him, then he can win some games for you. And do you really want that if you walk in as a GM? I mean, if I'm a GM and I walk into what the Dolphins have, which is a crap show, I'm totally gutting this whole thing, and I'm going like I'm winning 5 games this year, you know. And you got to get rid of a good quarterback. If you don't draft the quarterback, maybe, but I don't know. If you're gonna get rid of Tua, if you're gonna work with him, that's a different story and keep him. But if he's not your guy, you got to cut him as soon as possible. Look what they did with Wilson. Look what Denver did with Wilson. They got rid of him. And I think they had even a bigger cap hit. I think it was like $80 million or something.
Yeah. No, I mean, every situation is built differently. I think it's a little tougher when you're like looking at the Dolphins, who only have 37 players under contract next year.
Oh yeah.
To cut your quarterback and eat up $45 million in cap that you don't already have, that's a tough call. But the perfect person to join it, Captain.
Hey.
This is the Dolphin channel, D.
Look at this, Captain driving and talking. I love it.
I'm driving.
So Cap D, we've hit the Dolphins are going to get rid of Tua conversation. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think there's any possibility to that, or do we need to talk Curtis off the hill here? And
I'm not saying to get rid of him. Don't say that. I'm just saying if a new GM comes in, dump him.
It's a possibility for sure. I hear that. I just think that the ramifications might overweigh that. But Cap D, tell us your thoughts on the Dolphins beating the Rams this past weekend.
I mean, number one with the Rams and Dolphins, I mean, the defense played well. That was nice to see. They were able to get some sacks and some pressures, and the tackling seemed a lot better. Offense-wise, I think that, we were still struggling a little bit. We did some good things. We put some points up on the board. Obviously, we won the game. But to be quite honest with you, I felt like, if the Rams weren't shooting themselves so much in the foot, there were some opportunities there for the Rams to make this game a lot closer. Tua held on to the ball quite a bit, took some unneeded sacks, and actually did some kind of questionable moves. That pick that he throws, it had me thinking. I had this conversation with Tommy earlier this week. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but many years ago when the Dolphins went the veteran quarterback route and went with Trent Green, we were playing the Houston Texans on the road, and I believe Trent Green threw a pick, and almost the same scenario laid out to try and make a tackle for this interception, and took a knee to the head and had to get carted off, and that was it for the Trent Green experience. So this could have been a similar. It's so weird. It's so ironic that this could have been the same play. I mean, he got kneed in the head. For some reason, this time he didn't get concussed, but this could have been the same exact play. What happened to Trent Green? I mean, it was literally, he got carted off the field. But a lot of questionable things that Tua did that I'm just kind of like. And afterwards, what he said, I mean, he had no regrets, and it's like, man, if your team needs you, why would you make decisions like that? You know what I mean? You got to play smart. Back to should the Dolphins get rid of Tua? I think Curtis, from what he was saying, is right. If a new GM comes in, I think they would look to seek a trade or possibly. I don't know if they would cut him because of the money, but I think that if there's a new GM, that's the only way that if he's not if Tua's not the direction that he wants to go with, they would try and probably trade him.
Dude, you could cut Tua post-June in next year, and you save $31 million, and you have a dead hit of $8 million. So all you have to do is wait.
That's not terrible.
Post-June, and on top of that, if you cut Chubb pre-June, you save. Chubb. You can't cut him pre-June. You're gonna have to wait post-June. But if you cut Chubb post-June, you get $20 million savings, $9 million dead. You cut Tehran, it's $14 million savings, $7 dead. So if you cut those three guys, you would still be in the plus territory because you'd have 8 for Tua, 7 for Armstead, 9 for Chubb, and then you would have pre-June. Maybe I screwed it up. Hold on a second. Let me check. Let me see. I might be wrong. Hold on. Let me see. I might have screwed it up. Oh,
yeah,
no,
I'm looking at it too.
Oh, wait. I was wrong. I was looking at trade.
Yeah, trade's more possible, and you can't really trust the trade stuff in there because obviously teams can rework contracts. There's stuff with the trade stuff. You can't really trust what it says there. But yeah, you're looking at a tough situation. I hear what you're saying, and there's a very likely situation where the new GM will want to walk away from Tua, but I think he'll also say, like, hey, I can't really handcuff myself in the first year being able to build this roster out by cutting a player and eating an additional $20 million more than he's even making.
I don't want to cut him. I'm just saying his options. You know,
there's options. If you draft a quarterback, there's nothing wrong with making him sit, let Tua work for a little bit, and maybe even Tua demands a trade, and it opens things up where you can rework his contract and not have as big as a cap hit.
yeah,
I mean, there's other options.
I think I'm wrong.
Sure.
I think I'm wrong.
I think
I'm wrong.
Ultimately,
this is a 2025 conversation. We can have this conversation in November next year, and it'll be a little bit more.
This is the
realistic.
Dolphins channel. We moved to the Dolphins channel, man.
All right, Captain D, any other thoughts on this, or can we Zach on his
I'll
thoughts
just
on the
say,
game?
Real quick. I mean, ultimately, this is, no one wants to. I mean, some of the writers that are saying, everyone's been going back and forth about, what the Dolphins should do if this needs to be blown up, and it's going to have to be blown up to get it right. This is not the situation that the Dolphins predicted. Yes, we had injuries. They never addressed the backup quarterback position. Some of the signings were very questionable in what they did in the offseason. But, if you look at the position we're in now to win out, just to hope to make the playoffs, I mean, we're supposed to be in Super Bowl contention talks. That was the goal. And, it's not working. And if you look at Tua and the situation and all the negative feedback that's coming out about the Dolphins, now there's questions. We heard rumblings last year, Vic Fangio. We had former players now talking out. So what is the culture like in Miami right now going forward? Yeah. So I think ultimately there has to be major changes done to this franchise. So, and there's only one way to do that. I mean, you got to start, from scratch again, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Name of the game for some of us, unfortunately.
Zach's been quiet, Anthony. Zach, what's your thoughts, man? You've been so quiet over there, patiently waiting.
He's got the nice young quarterback, and he's building. He's gonna
nice guy.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about keeping rebuilding, and yeah, we're gonna get it right on the second try. It's amazing. I guess I should talk about the Dolphins, not the Patriots for now.
Save your breath. You want to go
for the Dolphins game, and then we'll jump right into your game.
Yep. All right.
With you.
So yeah, I mean, defensively for the Dolphins, it's bend but don't break, and it worked. Looking at the stats without touchdowns, Matthew Stafford threw for 300 yards. Kyron Williams ran for 60. Puka Nacua had 100 receiving yards. Cooper Kupp had 80 receiving yards. You would not hear those yardage stats and think, surely the Rams scored 0 touchdowns, but that's what they did. Dolphins held them to 5 field goals, no touchdowns, and when you hold a team to 15 points, even when you're the Miami Dolphins, there's a pretty decent chance that you're going to win that game, and that's what they did. So again, yardage wise, it might not have looked too great just with the box score, but bigger picture, they didn't break. They held the Rams to field goals and only field goals, and it ended up working out well, obviously.
Yep.
Well, it's our start of our Super Bowl run, didn't you know?
Yeah. Didn't even know you guys were still in playoff contention, but Super Bowl is
we're waiting
wide
for
open.
everybody to get ahead of us, and we're ready to take off. It's got to look good. It's got to look real good.
Tortoise in the head.
They were giving everybody a head start.
Yeah.
We're not soft, which is
nice guys. Nice guys.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, you want to jump right into your game? Patriots against the Bears?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was I wouldn't say dominant, but it was a very clear win, I guess. I mean, Patriots did what they had to do. Obviously won 19-3. It was not that close of a game. And got to the quarterback. That was the biggest thing. That Bears offensive line is hard to watch. And the Patriots sacked Caleb Williams 8 times. Those are good numbers. So defensively, they obviously held their own. They got to the quarterback. At that point, there's really nothing that the Bears were going to be able to do to turn that game around. Offensively, nothing crazy. Drake May played pretty well. Had a pick on a ball that he was trying to throw away and just didn't throw it enough into the sideline. So, again, rookie mistakes. It's going to happen. That's something that happens once. You note it. When I'm throwing the ball away, don't throw it right at the white line. Throw it into the crowd. That hopefully shouldn't happen again. So he's learning. He is a very good quarterback already, I would say. The potential is there. And the Patriots, I mean, not by far, not the best team in the NFL, but also not the worst team in the NFL, apparently. So things are looking up, I guess.
Are you insinuating something
Whoa.
about poor Anthony over there? Don't insinuate the poor Anthony over there. We three teams are all
we got our
rise.
problems.
Can't
We got
look
lots of
down on
problems.
Anthony.
There's a lot of problems.
Don't take that, Anthony.
We're not talking about my team yet. we got some time. We're not there.
I'm not looking down on you because our team is so
I'm the host.
successful.
We're talking about my
Definitely
garbage
not.
team when I'm ready.
All the Dolphins' success has not let my head get too big to look at the little guy like you, Anthony.
We're little right now, but I mean, I would say it's like, oh my god, I don't even know what to say, man. It's just misery.
We got one more win than you. That's a lot, dude. That's big.
No, you don't have one more win. You just have one less loss.
Well, whatever. It's all the same.
Same thing.
Tomato, tomato. Let's not quibble, all right?
Oh my god! All right, Curtis, since you're eager to talk, give us your opinions on this Patriots game.
I don't think ever in my life I've ever rooted for the Jets, and I'm not really rooted for them, but I figured they would do well this year. I said, man, Jets usually do dumb things. They'll go get.
We're talking Patriots, Curtis. What are you jumping at?
I don't know.
Oh my! He's so mad about it.
No, it's all right. Take the Patriots time to slander the Jets. I will totally stand for that.
I know. What do I say about this guy? He had a 20-year run, and now he's got another quarterback and picks. I got to pick on somebody, man.
Pick on Caleb Williams. Let's go. What do you think Caleb Williams in this game?
Well, look, if you look at it, to me, you'll talk about the offensive line, and you could talk about the offensive line, but look what I think they're idiots. So he was throwing the football 2.44 seconds clean time. He had 12% play action and 5% screens. How do you not set this guy up better? And he was blitzed 53% of the time. Oh, no, he was blitzed 46% of the time, and the pressure was 39%. So really, I think it's about the OC more than anything. Look at May, and, the guy's definitely got talent, but they appear to be setting this guy up a little bit better, and they don't got a great offensive line. But how do you set the guy up like that? Let's check out. All right, so, man, holy cow, kept clean for May, 2.82 seconds. Now look at them. Play action, 24% and 7% screen. So they added about 12% more pass rush mitigation. And he was blitzed, 28% of the time with 37. So they actually got more pressure than their blitzes, but they were pretty smart. They added play action. He had time in the pocket. So I don't know. I think there's some really ridiculous OCs out there that just don't want to set up their quarterback. I'm not a big fan of Caleb, but I hate to say it. Patriots are doing good.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
One
more time. Hold on. Curtis, I couldn't hear you. My headphones were muted.
Yeah, no, I know. Now you got look. I like Drake, man. I think he's doing a really good job. Completion percentage 80%. But look, they threw the football. He attempted it 25 times. Completed 15 out of it was not 60%, but his clean throws were 80% completion. 184 1-1. They're kind of doing the right thing by him. They're protecting him. he's a good quarterback, man. I don't know if I wouldn't say he's elite yet. I mean, I think you're riding a little bit high. I think he's showing some impressive stuff considering how little he's got around him. And, you got to wait. For me with May, you have to wait for the tape to catch up. So I think next year, when you get more players around him and the tape is kind of there, then I think he could start. I'm very impressed with what he's doing. But I wouldn't say that. I think he's playing better than Caleb, but I also think he's being set up better than Caleb. I think they believe the hype on Caleb and they're just letting him throw way too much without protection. So that's my 2 cents. I hate you guys. You know what? I hate you guys more than the Jets. I used to beat up the Jets when I was in the 80s and the 90s. But you guys gave me like PTSD in the 2000s. I really wanted you guys to be hit with a nuclear bomb on a couple occasions. So I really hate you. I really do.
Love you too, Curtis. Love you too.
Captain D, go.
I mean, I was a little surprised. I would have figured the Bears might have pulled this game off, but essentially they're two teams, rookie quarterbacks. I think the Bears got a lot more better, firepower offensively right now. They drafted Williams. We'll see how he does. Roma Adunze, I think is how you pronounce his name. DJ Moore. They have some pieces that they can build off there. Obviously, something's not clicking yet. I think they might have let go of their offensive coordinator there. So, a little surprising that they're not surprising that they're struggling. He's a rookie quarterback, but they're trying to find their way. Both these teams. I thought it was a nice win for the Patriots. It was on the road. And Drake May seems like he's settling in and clearly, I mean, it's still early, but it seems like, the Patriots might have their guy.
Yep.
Yes.
Where's my vomit bag?
Yeah, look, man, I had the Bears winning this game as well. At home, they do have the better playmakers on paper, but that only takes you so far. So the Patriots, listen, man, they brung the heat. They got to Caleb Williams actually 9 times for 51 yards. I mean, that's a lot of sacks. That's a lot of yards lost. And they just, listen, man, they fired their OC. They got a lot of issues in Chicago. Chicago is like the Jets and like a lot of these other football teams that just can't get it right. I think Caleb Williams has all the tools. I just don't know if he's going to put it all together. That's his problem. And I think, when he went into the NFL, DJ Moore called him out right away saying this dude's like acting like he's a superstar when he hasn't done shit. That's your own teammate. So clearly issues already building in the locker room before he even stepped on the field. Not good, right? That's not a great start if you're being, acting like you're the man already when you haven't done anything. And you're rubbing your teammates the wrong way. So not good. And they started off okay, but like I said, once teams start getting film on you, once teams starting to understand what you're not doing so well, they're going to attack you. And that's what they did. They're bringing the heat, bringing more pressure on Caleb. Caleb's making mistakes. I don't know where this Bears team goes. Once again, they usually have coaching issues, which clearly they just fired their OC. So I'm not sure how that goes. But as far as the Patriots go, I like May. I like what I've seen from May. Once again, I said 2 weeks ago, let's see next year, once they start building around him and once teams start getting more film on him, let's see how May is, right? And that's when you really can tell what a quarterback second year, I feel like, right? Like you're going to really see their product, how far they come along in the NFL. So, but right now, stepping onto the field in a rough start, right? Taking over Jacoby Brissett. Things weren't looking so hot. He's done really well, right? You would think the opposite. You would think the Patriots are going to even probably do worse because he's going to go through his quarterback, rookie motions. But so far, so good. Honestly, so far, so good, Zach. So that's a good sign for you guys moving forward, because now your GM probably goes, okay, like I think we have something here we could build around May, right? Instead of having to worry and go, I'm not so sure. Kind of like, when you had your quarterback, what was his name? That's backing up somebody now.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, right?
Last week.
Yeah,
last week.
He started last week, right? So
lost
you couldn't build around Mac Jones, right? Yeah. So no, I think you guys are building something there, and we'll see we'll see. Time will tell. But right now, it's a good sign for you guys. You're not going anywhere this year, but that's okay. It's never. I don't think that was ever the plan. The plan was to see what you got in the guy, and you're seeing firsthand. And now you're gonna win a few games here and there, and then just build up through the draft, man. That's how you do it. That's
like my Dolphins. One day you'll be as good as us. You get enough picks. You make enough. One day.
All right.
I'll get my take. Tommy, you could have said the Bears are like the Ravens, the Raiders. I mean, you could have said the Bears are built like the Browns. You could have said the built
Browns
like
the Browns too.
You had to add salt to the wound and say compare them to my team, who's already going through hell. Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
My bad.
Adding additional salt to a very, very stressful week that we've had. But anyway, I'll continue with this Patriots game. Yeah, I mean, I also had the Bears win this game. Figured that Bears defense would show up, and they played a good game. They get up a lot of rushing yards. Stevenson had a good game for the Patriots on the ground. But yeah, Caleb Williams he's getting hit very often. Obviously, the changed OC. Eventually, you think that they're going to kind of transition from Eberflus and probably bring in an offensive-minded guy. That's what they're going to need to do. They're going to need to build around Caleb Williams, and right now it's not going well for him. I saw something pop up the other day. He has one of the worst accuracies down the field, 15 yards down. That's not what you're expecting for a guy who was picked first overall. You're expecting him to expand this offense, especially with all the skill players they put around him. Odunze, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. There's plenty of talented receivers.
Forgot about Keenan Allen. Yeah, I forgot about him too.
Plenty of
maybe he needs to start painting his fingernails again.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think it's not going out well for the Bears and for the Patriots. Drake May looks pretty good so far. He shows that ability to kind of get out of the pocket when there's pressure in his face, extend the plays, the things that you look for in a young quarterback. That interception to Edmonds, former Bills player, just wasn't the right throw. Obviously looked like he may have been trying to throw it away, but it also didn't look like he was throwing it away far enough. Looked like he may have been trying to force it in. There was a receiver in the area. You'll learn from these things. I mean, you hope you learn from these things. It's a mistake. It's an error. He's young. This isn't a team that's built to win right now. It's an evaluation process. And so far, it looks like the evaluation process is going pretty well for Drake May. We'll see how the rest of the year goes for them. But yeah, Patriots kind of came up with a big time win. Defense showed up, and Bears offense could not do anything. So yeah, I guess everyone's talking about the Jets, so I guess we'll start with that shit show. I'll talk about this game.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna hop off real quick, and then I'll hop back on in a little bit.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Okay.
Good brother.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
We got to talk about the Dolphins, man. The epic Dolphins.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know how long he'll be gone for, but we'll wait to talk about the Dolphins game until he gets back. But yeah, this Jets game against Arizona. I mean, it's not a shock to me that they lost. It's a shock to me the way they lost. Coming out 4 consecutive drives, allowing a touchdown. 3 drives with a touchdown. Field goal to end the half. This defense a defense that was top 5 in the league the last couple of years, all of a sudden this season has just completely fallen in the opposite direction. They don't know how to tackle. You have the coach talking about doing specific tackling seminars so that this team is aware of how to tackle a running back like Connor in a game of this magnitude, and they still don't know how to tackle. You have them saying that in the week before your week 11 game, we're putting on full pads and we're going to do additional tackling drills. We need to learn how to tackle. This is stuff you do in July and August, not something I would expect to be doing in the middle of an NFL football season. But nonetheless, it's reached that point for the Jets. This defense cannot stop anything right now. It's a huge disappointment for, going into the season. The hope was this defense would continue what they were doing and Aaron Rodgers just be average and everything will be fine. And it's been the complete opposite. This defense has been absolutely terrible. And, say what you want about this offense. They came out the first 2 drives, went right down the field, had to settle for field goals. Obviously, you want to capitalize in the red zone, score touchdowns. That's the goal. That's the name of the game. But they were able to get down the field. First drive out of the half, again, right down the field. Had to go for it on 4th down because the score was already getting out of hand. They failed on the 4th down. The offense was moving the ball, just not capitalizing. This defense's inability to score, to hold teams to 3 and out. There was even a play they had them stopped on a 3rd down when the score was like 14-6 at the time. They had them stopped on 3rd down. Sauce Gardner comes in there, perfect timing on the route, goes in to tackle Trey McBride. And I understand Trey McBride's a big time tight end. He's known for his yak ability, but he just goes in there, doesn't drive his feet. The normal things you learn about tackling. Drive your feet, push them back, wait for the pursuit to come, and everything will get stopped. Well, he just kind of flings them. And Trey McBride keeps his footing and ends up turning what should have been like a 4-yard completion and a 4th down into a 20-yard gain. It's not acceptable. His defense is completely underwhelmed. And then you look at the offense side of the ball. Yes, I mean, the issues are the capitalization in the red zone. There's a lot of miscommunications on 3rd downs, even with guys like Devontae Adams, who Rodgers is familiar with. This offense just not clicking on all cylinders. And this is also a situation here where I think, obviously a new coach is going to come in here and there's going to be some changes around this roster, whether or not that's what, as Tommy was talking about earlier in the year, whether it's at the top or where those changes occur at the quarterback position or not. The Jets are also in a situation capitalized where I just don't see it being so possible, but we'll see how this goes. Got Dan in the chat. He's got a Quincy Williams with a clown face. There's some props here. It's just, oh boy. But yeah, I mean, I just don't see how this is possible. Just a completely disappointing season. Thought this would be a lot better than it has been so far. And I wasn't even drinking the hopium. At least I didn't think I was. I was just asking for the defense continue what they've been doing and Rodgers to just come in here and be better than Zach Wilson, and he has been, but it's just been awful. Just been awful.
I don't know how you feel. I don't know how you feel.
Who do you want to go? Because you're gonna have a lot of follow up with that. Who do you want to go next? Curtis, go ahead. You were talking. Go ahead.
Well, I was hoping in a way because I predicted you'd win that you'd enter the winner's circle of the Patriots.
I didn't.
the division leading Dolphins and the Bills. But you didn't quite do it, and I'm very surprised. But I look over to your stats, man. You had 18 missed tackles to 3 by Cardinals. And to be serious, I think that you're seeing something very clear in the NFL. The league was fun ball league. Defenses designed themselves to be small, to get after the quarterback and stop the pass. And on offense, they just wanted to throw the football. But somewhere along the way, teams decided to build up the offensive line, the interior of the offensive line, the interior of the D line, and start running inside that would attack these small little pass defenses. Some teams got it early. Some teams got one side of the ball and not the other. But the teams that didn't see this new cycle are behind the 8 ball. That includes my Dolphins. Includes your Jets. You tried to make the transition this year on offense with the offensive line, but it didn't. I think a lot of it doesn't gel because of what you run. A lot of shotguns and pistol. I think this new cycle needs under the center for a certain portion. There's other things I just can't understand what's going on. But on the defensive side, you just got small defensive front. Williams is good, but more of a pass rusher. You don't got a really good D tackle. Your linebackers are cover guys that can't attack, stack, and shed. And so, I saw right in that San Fran game, you were easily exposed through the run attack. And you can even see with Tommy. Tommy's defense is sort of like that too, because they've transitioned on the offensive side quickly and that's really been helping them. But on defensive side, they're still exposed to that. My offense, we can't really run the football too much except for outside stuff. So to me, that's the biggest problem with you. You could have used a real big, nice Mike linebacker who can cover a little bit, or a really nice DT to pair with Williams. I just don't understand the offense.
They had John Franklin Myers, and they decided to bring in Javon Kinlaw, who's just he lines up offside so many times. I think he thinks he's the other team's offensive lineman. It's that awful for him. They had John Franklin Myers, who's an outstanding defensive lineman, and he's doing fantastic with Denver right now. And Denver gave him nothing. It was a 2-year, $15 million contract. Jets had him here. They brought in Kinlaw. They obviously brought in Reddick. Obviously looking to reshape this defensive line. A defensive line that was a strength for the last couple of years has now turned into a weakness over just poor decision making on how to reallocate funds. I mean, there was no reason that JFM should have left the building. He was a player that came in here as a waiver wire transaction type of player and developed into a strong defensive player that could play off the edge on early run situations and come inside in pass situations. And he did it both even on run situations as well. He was a real staple to his defensive line. You let him get out of the building, and obviously things have turned well for Denver on that defensive line, and he's a big reason behind that.
Yep. Now, what's the deal with last week? Where did your Fashuanu play? He played right guard.
Fashanu?
Yeah.
He came. He came in at left tackle later in the game. So they had the full starting offensive line going, but then pulled out. Tyron Smith came out, and Fashanu came in when the game was out of hand, and he played well. But by that time, it's just what do you got to play?
Because I was looking at the snap count for your offensive line. It was like really weird. It was like I got loads of snaps to the left tackle. I'm like, I stopped watching. When it started to get into a blowout, my son was like, "Daddy, this game sucks." So I turned it off.
No, it did suck. It sucked.
So I don't know.
I thought it was great. I enjoyed it.
I think that you and I are in a whole heap of trouble for so many reasons.
I would say so.
Big trouble. But you know what? It's going to be 2-0. We're going to fight it out for second in the division. Who can win the booby prize?
Whoa. It's a 3-way race, too.
Who are you?
True.
Who are you? Oh, my Lord. If you come in next week and beat us, But you know what? I'll tell you this, Zach. If you come in and beat us next week, it would be like ripping the Band-Aid off. It would be like the clearest sign in the universe that we need to rebuild. So I don't know, man. Maybe you could be my hero. I don't know. We'll see. I don't even know.
Honestly, I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. You never know. It would be pretty funny if it does. I'd
feel relieved. I'd be like, yes, everybody would have to admit at that point, man, we got to rebuild. But what a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
So, Zach, what are your thoughts on this shit show of a game?
I don't know if there's much to say. The New York Jets are the same New York Jets that they've been for the last 60 years. I mean,
kicking
it's yikes! Pow! Pow!
There's really not much.
One.
I mean,
we still have one.
Okay, yeah, and the Civil War era,
more than those Orchard Park Bills can say.
Hey, you leave us alone.
No,
jeez.
And we have 6. So, anyways, New
York
Jets, yeah, just.
I don't remember the last 20 years. I don't know who you are. I remember the perfect season. That's all I remember.
Is Drew Bledsoe still your quarterback?
Dan Marino.
He got replaced by some random 6th rounder from Michigan.
That shouldn't go. That won't go well for you guys.
Yeah, no, I doubt it. But yeah, I mean the Jets. There's really nothing to say. I mean they lost 31-6.
It's despicable.
Offense couldn't do anything. I think it's pretty great. I don't know if I'd say despicable. I'd say amazing. But Cardinals scored on all of their offensive drives until the fourth quarter. It's just a very poor performance from the Jets. And even worse than that, I think that what was it? Was it yesterday or the day before? They got probably the worst news that they've heard in years, that Aaron Rodgers plans to play football again next year. So they have really no path. Let's be honest, no path to the playoffs this year, clearly, unless somehow they win out. Not
Now with the Dolphins ahead of them.
True. And realistically,
anybody could be ahead of them. It won't matter.
Realistically, there are too many issues for them to fix in one off season. They are not going to be able to do a full rebuild because Aaron Rodgers is still going to be the glorious king of that franchise. But there's no possibility of a rebuild. Maybe they get a QB in the first rounder, but that would just annoy Rodgers, as it did in Green Bay. There's way too many issues. They're just looking at really best case scenario for next year is mediocrity. And hey, Tommy, Curtis, for us, hip hip hooray.
Winner circle. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple more easier wins in the division. But yeah, Anthony, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's coming from a person whose team also is not great right now. I'm sorry, because there's no future there, and there's no present, there's no future. They need to flip the switch onto a rebuild, and they're just not going to, because really, when you have Aaron Rodgers at QB, you can't, even if he's a shell of what he used to be.
So the thing is too, like, and bring this up a little bit here, someone in the chat. The Jets really don't have an option to move on from Aaron Rodgers, and we got to kind of like look at this like in perspective, like we were doing earlier with the Dolphins. I mean, the Jets are in a similar situation with Aaron Rodgers, and the fact that there's a lot of dead cap money associated with him if he retires next year, whatever the case would be. If he retires, the Jets can kind of save a little bit of money, but not enough to really kind of move the needle in any way. The fact of the matter is, there's going to be a new GM, new head coach in here next year. That's going to be the case. It's just the way it is. Rodgers is under contract next year. He carries a big cap hit with him. There was really no thought in my head that this is really a situation where he wouldn't be here unless he didn't want to be here. And again, if he doesn't want to be here, it's a similar situation like when he went with Green Bay. If you want to be out, restructure, whatever, like I was saying with Tua, there's a way to rework the contract in a way that the team trading away doesn't take as much of a hit for the team acquiring him. But I don't think that the teams want to trade for him right now. The way everything's going right now, his best situation and the Jets' best situation is that he's here and he's starting. And that's just the way it is. If the Jets find a quarterback in the draft, that's a conversation for another day. But as it stands right now, there's really not a better option at quarterback for the Jets because quarterbacks don't just fall off trees. It's not the way this league works. The good quarterbacks are usually on a contract, and every once in a while, a team like the Buccaneers gets lucky with a free agent quarterback like Baker Mayfield, who exceeds what his expectations are. It's not happening every day of the week. The Jets' best situation is with Rodgers on the field, and that's just kind of the way it's shaking out right now.
Yeah, listen, man. I hope other teams have taken note of what not to do, because let me tell you, man. You guys, once again, I've said it for the longest time. You guys got an aging quarterback who is known to get coaches fired, who is known to not have the best body language, not be the best teammate. Yes, he's a Super Bowl winner years ago. But your owner totally... Your owner,
known to getting coaches fired.
Yeah, he absolutely did. Absolutely. Two. He got one fired in Green Bay. He got one fired in Green Bay. Okay. He didn't work well with the new coach there. Left. Okay. He got his Salah. Yeah. Say what you want. Say what you want. He got fired. Listen, Anthony. Your owner has built this team around Aaron Rodgers, plain and simple. Okay. Yeah, he has brought in every single player that he has wanted. He has done everything for Aaron Rodgers to make Aaron Rodgers happy, to make this team, I guess, a Super Bowl contender. I have no idea, but it has back.
Weren't you as well before the Jets traded for Devontae Adams? Weren't you as well for the Bills? Weren't you as well for the Bills saying it would be nice if the Bills get Devontae Adams? What's wrong?
No,
with
I had no.
Devontae
Listen,
Adams?
I had nothing. Listen, once again, am I saying just Devontae Adams? There's been way more than just Devontae Adams that has gone to the Jets.
They gave him $10 million.
Listen,
not a big deal.
listen. His OC
Randall
wanted to
Cobb,
be there.
Veteran minimum.
This team, if you don't think that your owner has cushioned this team and built this team around Aaron Rodgers, you're crazy.
I'm not denying
this team has absolutely been built around Aaron Rodgers.
Not like the
that is a
Dolphins,
complete.
I'm not denying that, but in the same sense.
Okay, but here, it was
like the
no,
Dolphins.
Anthony, you're not getting it. You're rebuilding, right? Here's the deal. You guys have made mistake after mistake trying to get a quarterback out of the draft. So what did you do? You went out and said, fuck it. We can't get it right through the draft. We're going to go out and get a former Super Bowl winner quarterback who's 40 years old, and we're going to build around him and let's see what happens. It has backfired. He got hurt his first year, out for the season. Yes. Second year, right now, he is doing bad. He is not the Aaron Rodgers what they expected. Gone wrong. Now your defense is suffering. You fired your head coach, who was a defensive-minded head coach, who had that defense humming while he was there. Now, mind you, this year, run defense not so great even under him. However, bad decision by firing. What did that do? Did nothing. So you're down a coach now. You're on an interim head coach. You're a losing team, and now you have to figure out what you're going to do in the offseason. You did it wrong. The Jets did it wrong again. That's not how you rebuild a team. You don't rebuild a team around a 40-year-old quarterback. You have to go through the draft. You have to keep going until it works. You have to find yourself a quarterback like the Patriots did.
I think timing has a lot.
It don't matter. You have listen, but you have to go through the motions, Anthony. You can't keep going
I understand,
for the hope.
That. The Jets situation. I think the situation doesn't call for that, though. I mean, obviously, the full intention was that they were going to continue drafting quarterbacks and do whatever they can.
You have to go through
the real hope. The real hope was that Zach Wilson could stick behind Aaron Rodgers for a couple of years and learn how to play quarterback. That was the real hope. But
everybody knew Zach Wilson wasn't the guy.
I understand.
We all knew. Everybody knew that. That's a bad. But that's what I'm talking about. When you guys reaching, like, listen, the Jets are going to listen until you guys shut this down completely, and what you're going to have to, because here's the deal: you're going to be coach shopping. Whoever your coach is coming in is going to have to be okay with Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback, because maybe your coach goes, I don't really want to work with Aaron Rodgers. I want a young guy in here. Maybe I don't want to. So that's one thing that's against you, because not every like I said, not every head coach is going to want to be in that situation, right? He's going to want to have a whole new staff. Maybe Aaron Rodgers is not part of their plan. So I'm just saying, it's time for you guys to just call it quits with Aaron Rodgers. Your owner needs to.
They can't.
Yeah, you can. Listen,
from
Anthony.
A cap standpoint, they cannot.
It doesn't matter. You can. You absolutely you can. You take the hit. There's teams that take hits all the time. They do. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. There's teams that do it. Anthony, there's teams that do it all across the board. Sometimes, man, you have to take the hit when it don't work. Absolutely. Listen, Denver did it, and Denver's a better team today than they were with Russell Wilson, with Bo fucking Nix, than they were with Russell Wilson.
I'm looking up the cap,
and they're rebuilding. I'm just being honest with you.
If you look, I'm going to
take
that. I feel bad.
We took the hit on Diggs.
I feel bad because it's kind of like all I see is like
a
fly getting its wings picked off. I really feel like that you're in better situation than the Dolphins. So, like, if you look at your cap space, you guys got $32 million next year and 46 guys on the roster, and then you got 86 the year after that with 34. To me, Rodgers is good enough, but the problem is you can't expect him to carry you.
That was not anybody who walked in with that expectation was.
That's now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Really? Is he? Where do you think he is right now?
If I put
quarterback wise,
listen,
where does he stand right now?
They're not able to run the football.
Okay,
they're not able to protect.
Curtis, look at their. Okay, let me tell you something. Look at their offense. Tell me, Curtis, what is wrong with their on play? Like, if you were to look at their offense before you even see them play, the running backs, receivers, you would go, "Wow, they got some real good weapons there. That should be a pretty explosive offense, right?" Don't lie and say that. Aaron Rodgers is having a bad year, considering you have two good running backs.
Yeah,
you got Devontae Adams. You got a young right receiver who's the real deal, who I think is really good. There's no excuse to be a 3-win team to score 6 points against the Cardinals. Are you kidding me? Bro, Curtis, come on, man.
No, listen.
I mean, listen, I know stats don't tell the whole story, but Aaron Rodgers, 2,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on the year. That is not a terrible season. The issues are obviously related to, this offense is just not where it needs to be. There's a game against the Bills. This offense was running a different style. They were able to put players in motion. They were opening things up, and they had one of their best performances against the Bills in that first game after the solid firing, whatever. Ever since then, the motion has not been there. The offensive ingenuity, there's a lot of issues in this building. And
you're 26 in offense.
The biggest
Anthony.
problem. What was that?
You're 26 in total offense.
Yeah,
you're terrible.
I'm not disagreeing.
Okay, but is that all right? So I'm saying you're 26 on offense.
They've got
should you be?
They got 800.
Okay, but if you're 20
yards and on the ground,
if you're 26,
and 9 fumbles. They have 9 fumbles.
That's not my. Okay, you're 20. Okay, you're 26 in offense with those players. You can't be 26 in offense with those players.
Yeah, but it's not. It's
come on, man.
For me, it's Toronto.
Okay, but that's then who built the team? What do you? So now you're going to blame who are you blaming now? You're blaming OC. You're going to blame everybody else but Rodgers. Really?
If I put Rodgers,
I say that.
Oh, y'all funny, man.
Blow it up.
Hey, run it back. Listen, I have no problem with you guys bringing Rodgers. Run it back, baby. Run it.
That's their best option. Whether or not
bring in another 40-year-old next year. I have no problem with that.
All right, who's playing?
I hope you guys bring in Jimmy G right after Rodgers. Just keep on.
Who's playing quarterback next year if it's not Rodgers?
Tell
me who's playing quarterback next
Whatever 40-year-olds out there, I have no idea. Whoever old quarterback you want to get, I have no problem.
Tell me,
I have to look at the veterans out there. I have to look.
I am all for drafting the next Tom Brady in the draft.
I have to look at the old quarterbacks, Anthony.
You take the chance on a rookie. You get rid of the 40-year-old man who's not going to win you any games.
Take a chance on a rookie. You could take a chance on a rookie. That's no problem.
But you have to eventually, Anthony.
Yes, agree with that. But to just say that this is the way it's going to go and just let's eat $25
I'm not saying it's the way it's to go. I'm saying you should go. No one's saying it's the way to go. I'm saying
also
you have to go somewhere.
If there's a quarterback available in the first round that the Jets think is the right guy to build moving forward, every inch of me says take that guy.
You don't think your new head coach, whoever it is going to want a quarterback?
He may, yes. But if we're picking 10th, 11th, I wouldn't force the pick either.
And you don't think that Aaron Rodgers, if he's staying, is going to want to be a part of that coaching search or have a say in it? Of course he is. You fucking right he is. So I'm just saying, it's going to be tough for you. I'm being honest with you. To find a coach, it's going to be tough. A good coach
situation would have a say.
And your owner is already Bill Belichick called him out on live TV. You're having issues there already. I'm just saying, to find a good coach is going to be a problem.
Hold on. Listen.
Whatever.
Dwayne the Jets get rid of Tyron Smith. Get rid of Tyron Smith. Look, right now, Allen, who's your guy, who I love, 21 big-time throws and 13 turnover-worthy plays. Okay? He's been protected. Go look at the Jets, though. Look what the Jets are doing as far as, honestly, I think it's Rodgers had 18. Let me get the stats over here. Honestly, I think it's not a bang with me over here. Rodgers has 18 big time throws and 13 turnover worthy plays. You have 21 and 15. And look at Allen. Allen was struggling big time until they got an offensive line that was able to run the football and take some of that off the menu. The league has changed. The biggest problem in my evaluation is Rodgers sits in shotgun. He sits in pistol, and that doesn't work anymore. If you go look at him,
and you think And Curtis, you
I'm
think
not-
he's
I'm not-
changing his way? You
It- I
think
don't-
you? But I'm
no,
saying
when
you think that he's going to change his way at 40. That he's
it's
not going
that
to want to
much
be in.
thing, 'cause
That's what he
ran-
wants.
No, but he when you go back to
Yeah,
Green Bay,
yeah.
he ran more under center in Green Bay. They had a more potent running game.
But he's a different quarterback now, though, Curtis. He's a 40-year-old quarterback. He's not. He's
a
different.
40-year-old
He wants to be in
quarterback would
shotgun.
want more of a run game. What I'm saying to
He
you,
want.
if
He has
I
a run
put
game.
Rodgers on a different, if I put Rodgers on a bit with a better offensive line and a more balanced approach, kind of what he had in Green Bay, he'd be effective. Would he win a Super Bowl? I'm not saying he's the greatest ever. No, but look at Allen. Allen's been sitting back, letting the running game do most of the work this season. He's got 21 big time throws and 15 turnover worthy plays. And Rodgers, I think, has got 18 and 13. So it's not like
Allen's in shotgun a lot too, Curtis.
But they've moved to a heavy load of they brought 30% on the center, and they run the football.
Listen, man, if you still think Aaron Rodgers can do it, great. Keep bringing him back.
I actually,
I have no
Anthony,
problem.
funny that you brought that up because I did just look it up. I'm putting these names out there more as bridge quarterbacks because in free agency you're not going to get a franchise guy. Right? But let's say the Jets are picking top 10, which they're currently the 8th pick. Say they're picking top 10. They think they can draft a QB, sit him for a year, develop, blah, blah, blah. You have Russell Wilson on the market. You have Justin Fields on the market. You have Sam Darnold on the market. Are those superstar quarterbacks? No. Are those bridge quarterbacks who can go in and win you games? And honestly, I think are all better than Aaron Rodgers is today. I think so.
So I hear you saying, Zach, but the avenue to get that quarterback, like you're saying, is you'd have to cut Rodgers, which is going to cost you $25 million in cap hit and dead money. And then you have to pay that guy. So a guy like Sam Darnold is going to get $20 million at least next year. I mean, the way he played this year, he's going to get at least $20 million.
I think is going to be less of a bridge, but like,
I'm saying,
I think Justin Fields is a realistic option there.
Justin Fields is a realistic option. Yeah, there are other options, but the way this quarterback market goes, any guy that's coming in is going to be a starter is going to get at least $8 million. So
let me ask you this though:
by getting a guy like Justin Fields, you're in essence paying him $30 million on an $8 million contract because of the fact you have to cut Rodgers, take that dead cap, and then also pay Justin Fields. Is that $30 million worth more in wins than a guy like Aaron Rodgers? I just don't see that avenue. I'm not saying that Rodgers is the top 10 quarterback, top 15, but to eat that dead money is not the best option for this.
So you do know though, if you keep Aaron Rodgers next year, which fine, I get it, and you're not successful, which I don't think you will be. I think you'll be same thing. You're still going to have to go through this. You're going to have to draft a quarterback eventually. Yeah. And I don't you're going to want to be in a top 10 to get a good, decent quarterback, right? Top 5, maybe. So with Aaron Rodgers playing next year, do you think you'll be as bad as you are this year where you might potentially get a top 5 pick? You get what I'm saying? You're going to have to make that call eventually.
So wait. So what you're saying is,
I'm saying if you're this bad this year, let's say you get a top 5, are you going quarterback and Aaron Rodgers is good with that, and you're saying, hey, he's going to back you? Like that's what you ultimately want, or not go quarterback?
At the end of the day, if there's a quarterback there that you think you can build this roster around, get him. But in the same sense, keep Rodgers around until if that quarterback comes in training camp,
I'm surprised Rodgers would want to be back. I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised that he would even go back to that.
I want to bring up
I think $20 million gives you a reason.
But it's going to
first off, Tommy, when you first started talking, a little notification hit my phone from Bleacher Report per Diana Rossini. There's no guarantee Aaron Rodgers will return to the Jets for 2025. Now, I'm sure that's a little bit of just words being said, but there's also some truth to that. Look, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to go back, he's not going back. And Anthony, I know you had also said that earlier with ultimately it is likely up to Rodgers. But I also do want to respond to your point about that $30 million, you're paying a QB $10 million and Rodgers' dead cap is 20, whatever. I think if it were when you're just looking at Aaron Rodgers, the football player, sure, it's not worth it. But when you factor in the fact that he has so much say in this organization, and I think that's when it becomes worth it, honestly. Getting that out the door and being able to take a step towards a rebuild where I think if Aaron Rodgers is still the one kind of behind closed doors making not the total GM, but helping in with a lot of decisions, I think that sets the Jets back 2 or 3 years in a rebuild just because of what they have to focus on as a team that thinks they're contending, which they won't be, but Aaron Rodgers will play his cards like they are, versus a team that can actually be rebuilding in that first year. I think that those assets will go towards the moves that are like a contending team, which is going to set the Jets back. So even though, it's $30 million, $30 million swing in year one, maybe that's not worth it, but in the long run, I think it is, because it gets them a jump start on this rebuild, which they're going to have to do regardless, whether it be this year or next year. And I think that even that 1 year difference isn't the whole story, because if Rodgers is still kind of running the show a little bit, that's going to set them back too. So it'll be more like a 2 to 3 year swing, just with all of the assets, salary cap money, draft picks, players that could be moved for trade capital or for draft capital, being kept on the team or being used in other ways that a contending team would, that a rebuilding team might not. So I think that's really where the $30 million thing becomes worth it, right?
Mhm.
If we're judging solely based on QB play, then I completely agree with you. Yeah, it's not worth doing. But
Yeah, I'm with you there too,
when
Anthony.
you're factoring in everything else, I think that the Jets do kind of need to make that move.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I hear all that. Yeah, it all makes plenty of sense. And at the end of the day, we're kind of having a premature conversation because at the end of the day, it depends on who the Jets bring in to make all these decisions.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I said. I don't know. It depends on the coach who comes in and what he wants. Remember, every coach has a plan. Every coach has,
GM, right?
they're going to talk to the GM. Are you replacing your GM as well, or no? You just fired your head coach?
I would assume so. I would assume so.
Okay. I was just curious. So yeah, back on this game, I predicted the Cardinals to win, and they did. I didn't think they would spank you, though. By the way, I didn't think I thought it would be closer than this.
It wouldn't.
And I did say it depends what Cardinals team shows up, and the good Cardinals team showed up. And Kyle Murray, 22 of 24, he had a really good game, right? That's really impressive. 266.
He had like 17 consecutive completions or something like that at some point.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah. The rushing was okay. I didn't, Trey Benson, 62 yards. Connor, 33 yards. Kind of, I thought you guys did much better against the run, considering you're not you're not the best run defense. But overall, man, I think really it came down to Kyle Murray being effective, Aaron Rodgers not. 22 or 35 for Rodgers, 151, not very good. He was sacked 3 times, 23 yards, so that's not good either. Your rushing was not there. Breece Hall, 10 carries, 52, not very good. I don't know why you're not using Allen more. Weird. Wilson had okay, 41 yards. Devontae Adams, 6 for 31. I mean, I get it. He's new there. Your defense is really, I guess, the story too, man. Just kind of letting you guys down this year as well. And I don't know if that Saleh being fired kind of, because I do think Saleh was a good defensive minded head coach. Like, I do think they played a little bit better under Saleh. I believe that. I could be wrong. I didn't think Saleh was a good head coach, I'll be honest with you, but I thought he got his defense to play a little bit better than what they've been since he's been gone. This is how I see it. I could be wrong. You're more focused on your team than I am.
It's easy to talk in hindsight. I wish we would have had the opportunity to see if maybe Saleh stuck around after they demoted Hackett. If maybe just a change in offensive coordinator was enough. But
it was just so soon. It was so soon.
It was soon.
Which was
but there was
odd.
I think it was. So here's it was kind of necessary because the Jets were just losing games. They were coming out unprepared. A lot of penalties. Just the normal things that you look at and say, okay, this is a poor coach team. And the problem is that those issues that they had with Saleh have kind of gotten even worse now with an
Right.
interim head coach.
Yeah.
So, I mean, could have been better, sure, but we don't know for sure. I would have liked
Yeah,
to see
you
at
don't
least a
know.
couple of
I
games.
get you.
If they would suck still, then you fire him. I mean, the timing of it was too soon, but I see what they were trying to do, trying to put a little bit of a bolt in this team, show accountability was the big like talking point for that week, whatever. And that was like the word of the week after they fired Saleh. Well, the accountability is still not there. There's still a lot of penalties, a lot of issues. But whatever.
Yeah, rough, man. Rough, right, Curtis?
I don't know anything about that. I'm a Dolphins fan. Life is easy. Living is good.
Curtis is living it good.
I'm done talking about this team.
Jets.
Let's talk about your team.
Dolphins fan.
It wasn't. Listen, it wasn't a pretty win. 30-20. It didn't even feel like 30 points. Like our offense was once again rough out the gate.
Ugly.
Listen, I'll take the win all day. A win is a win. Yeah, I will say this though. I tell Bills Mafia all the time because they thought I was like a Debbie Downer after the show because we go live post game after win or lose after every game. And look, man, it's not sustainable. Like you cannot keep this offense. You can't keep playing like that. You can't keep going slow out the gate, correcting things out the second half because eventually you will meet a better team than the Colts. You will go into playoffs. You cannot make the same mistakes that we've been doing on offense. Now, mind you, we were without Keon Coleman and Amari Cooper. I get it. But our offensive coordinator has to do a better job planning these games out, like running the ball more, getting Ray Davis involved more, getting James Cook involved more. He was involved, but I felt like in the receiving game, James Cook could have been involved more. Running, he was fine, but Ray Davis was barely used. 3 carries, not enough. But offensively, like I said, I just feel like we've been this whole year getting away with slow starts. And the Ravens, actually, they just, you see when we win against a good team, what happens when you get out slow and you get down big, it's tough to come back in the NFL. So against the Colts, you can do that. You can afford to get away with that. And we did. I thought we did a good job against Flacco. First half, Jonathan Taylor, 107 yards. Second half, 7 yards. Big difference, right? I thought our run defense did very well in the second half. First half, not so well. But once again, you got to clean that up as well. You cannot let teams get on you like that early on. Other than that, it just wasn't, offensively tough, man. Matt Collins, 86 yards. Not a guy you want to be leading your team in yards. Khalil Shakir, 58 yards, fine. Dawson Knox, 40 yards. By the way, Kincaid is hurt. He got hurt as well. He's not playing this week. So we're just, injuries are piling up for this team as well. So, but anyways, a win's a win. We pulled it off. And now we're playing the Chiefs this weekend. So I'll take any win.
You better win.
Yeah, I'll take any win, man. 8-2. It's our best start since 1993. So I'm happy about that. Just not totally happy about how we won, but I'll take the win. It is what it is, man. But we got to be better moving forward.
Yeah, I'll kind of piggyback off that. The slow starts, I was kind of getting a little, looking at the game like, maybe it is going to be one of those shocker type of weeks. But I mean, I had you guys winning big in this game from the get go. But when I saw it started staying close, whatever. But you guys kind of did that thing you did against the Cardinals. Started off slow there too, and then just kind of pumped it up in the second half. And that's where games are won and lost. That's where games are really won and lost. I mean, obviously, you want to start fast, finish strong is the quote that these coaches like to use all the time. Guys didn't start fast, but definitely finish strong. A game this week against the Chiefs, you've got to go with that mentality. You have to, start this game fast. Can't get off to a slow start, and we'll talk about that game eventually. But overall, I mean, it was a game you guys should have won. Did you win it in a blowout? Not necessarily. I mean, you still beat them by 2 scores at the end of the day. Could have been easier. Wasn't easy, but at the end of the day, win's a win, like you said. No matter how dirty or how clean or whatever. Yeah. At this point, the Jets take a win however we can find it. I'll take a 30 win.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take it, man. And our defense got 7 of those points, by the way. So
I'll take a 2-0 win.
30 offensive.
I'll take a 2-0 win if we can find it that way. Baseball score. Anything. We just need something. Zach, what do you got in this game?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony, you kind of said what I was thinking. The Bills can't do that again, right? Going up against the Chiefs this week, they can't afford another disappointing start, stupid mistakes. Having a I don't know if they went into the second half with it, but I know at some point, kind of later in the first half, being down to the Indianapolis Colts, can't have that. And that is something that they're gonna have to fix. Just making sure that everything's clicking, as simple as it may sound. And they need to go out there and make some plays. But honestly, I think the Bills will be fine. As Tommy pointed out, they're missing pretty much their two biggest targets. I guess Khalil Shakir might be a little bit higher than Coleman now, but missing Amari Cooper and missing Keon Coleman in that game, pretty huge losses. Probably went into it a little bit less, locked in than they will be against the Chiefs too. I mean, when you're playing the Indianapolis Colts, you might not have to worry about it as much. Maybe won't get as good of a week of practice, or won't take meetings as seriously, whatever it may be. But I think that ultimately they'll kind of flip the switch this week and bounce back after still a win, but a bit of a sloppier one.
By the way, Spin, I'm a Bills fan, die hard. All right. It's just, you got to call out what it is. I'm not a rah-rah guy, bro. I'm not going to be like, we're 8-2, everything's great, everything's fine. Don't look at that other stuff that's going wrong. Only the good stuff. Like, you have to look at everything at a whole, man. If we're a playoff team, in which we are, we got to correct shit. You got to fix stuff. If you want to go deep in the playoffs, we have to correct the issues we're having on offense. Yes, we scored 30 points. We really only scored 23. 7 was from the defense. We could have scored way more. This should have not even been a close game. Okay? You can't get away with playing like that against better teams. When you hit the playoffs, you play the best of the best. That's all I'm saying. We have time to correct it. That's it. Like any team, listen. Just because your record says you're 8-2, winning 10, wow, doesn't mean you have issues. We have some issues that we have to correct and fix. That's all. It's not hating my team. It's not, I'm all being Debbie Downer. Listen, it's just reality. You have to fix some stuff. You don't think the coaches know this? You don't think they fucking talk about this? That's why they have film study to fix shit, to correct shit every week. You have to. Or you're going to just be the same old team week after fucking week. So, yes, Joe Brady needs to do a better job, regardless of the injuries. He has to call a better game. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Because I don't want to – because you know why? We're going to be talking about this when we get booted out of the playoffs, when we have a game where we come out the gate slow, and you're going to be oh, man, we came out the gate slow, and we were behind too early, and then we couldn't catch up. Well, we have to fix it. That's all I'm saying. It's not Debbie Downer. It's just reality.
All right, Curtis, what's your thoughts on this Bills win to improve to 8-2?
I agree with Debbie over here. I think that the Bills, for the most part, I think they're in a good situation, but there are clear things that they need to fix. It's like my Dolphins. A lot of fans say, well, if we get close to making the playoffs, we make the playoffs. It's not about that. My team is not on the same level of aspirations as the Bills. But we got to at least win one playoff game, or else it's invalidated. The Bills got to go to at least a conference championship, and not the Super Bowl. I mean, that's who they are. Now, you look at the Bills and you look at how they played this week, and, Allen's getting the ball out, clean time to throw, 2.13 seconds. That's the Dolphins' territory of speed throwing. His average depth of target was 4.2 yards. And I say this, the problem is Cooper kind of creates leverage. And if you don't have a deep threat, defenses understand, they measure your receiving group, how they're going to play you. And, I love Allen. I think he's been off this year. I've been seeing him throw a lot of dirt balls, not a lot, but more than usual. There is some accountability on him. But I think that not having Coleman, not having a real deep threat and now Kincaid it's very difficult to create leverage. You go look at what the Chiefs are doing. They got the fast dude, and you could see that to start the season they were a little bit more explosive, but then as they started losing their receivers, they started crunching down. So I think I said you would win by 10. I think I'd said 27-17 or something like that.
Yeah, you pretty much got it. Yep.
So, I mean, not that I'm like some predictor. I mean, you're a better predictor than me, but I kind of know the flavor of the game. You guys might have had a lot more problem if Flacquito didn't do his negative Flacquito game. He kind of choked a couple times with some picks.
He had a rough, he had a rough start to that game.
But
he did.
With you guys,
it was a little rusty. That was my concern with it. He played poorly against Minnesota the week before as well.
Flacquito?
Yeah, Flacquito.
They went back to Richardson, by the way, Curtis.
Yeah. I know. That's good for your Jets, actually.
This is coming out party this week.
Oh,
this
yeah.
This is the franchise quarterback. This is what we thought we were drafting. For a team that has tackling issues, this might be his game.
Oh, man. Look at he had it with my Dolphins. He beat my Dolphins, which is crazy, and we were ahead and everything. It was terrible. He could be a little dangerous. He's just erratic. And then he pulls himself out of games. I don't know. But basically for the Bills, they have a clear weakness as far as the sturdiness of their front and their linebacker group. It is exposed by good run teams that have good offensive lines. It creates a quandary. And if the Colts had a good quarterback, it'd have been very dangerous. He wasn't a threatening quarterback, and he made turnovers. Your defense, I think, is 15th and 16th. Running
it's in the middle of the pack.
Yeah. You guys are
well now points we're top 10.
Yes, like 13 or something.
So we're like a bend don't break. Which
very good. I think you're a very good coach defense. I think the players play well together. They're just not overly talented, and they can get bullied a little bit. But
a lot of injuries though to Curtis. Like Matt Milano is on the 21-day window. You're going to see a little bit better. Yeah, you'll see a little bit of better on that linebacker play once Milano and Bernard are in the backfield together again. We haven't had that in a long time. Just throwing that out there as well. So you got to remember Dorian Williams, who's not playing bad, is just not a Matt Milano. You get what I mean? So we will be better when Matt Milano returns, hopefully, right? Like hopefully
take a little while
he is what
back, but
he's going to they're going to ease him back for sure. But I'm just throwing that out there as well. Like, and DeMar Hamlin, for as much as I like him, he's doing okay. I think he's having a good. For him, but he's not a starting safety. I think he's a good depth guy. And I think what we're planning on is the Cole Bishop is the future at safety. But right now, we wanted Hamlin. He earned it in the offseason.
How's his rep count? Is he getting higher rep counts?
Bishop. Who? Hamlin. Bishop. No, he's a special team guy. Special teams. That's it. That's it right now. Yeah. So we released Mike Edwards, who was supposed to be the starting safety, but got hurt, and that's how Hamlin got the job. And Bishop got hurt as well I think in camp. So really, Hamlin kind of won it by forfeit in a way because injuries. But he's actually not played terrible. So I don't think he's going to get pulled unless he gets hurt, and then you'll see Cole Bishop. But he's definitely not like I don't see him as a starting safety, but I think he's done well enough. You get what I mean to remain at that position for this year.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, I think. This will be for me. My evaluation is KC game is going to tell me who you really are.
I agree.
I want you to win.
Sucks that we're going to have. It just sucks that we're playing KC with obviously some key guys missing. You know what I mean on offense.
Is Cooper playing?
Cooper's questionable. He may, from what I'm hearing, he will be out there, but he has a soft cast on. So, but just him being out there is a good thing, right? Because the defense is going to have to play us a little bit different.
No Kincaid, no Coleman,
but no Kincaid, no Coleman. Yeah, so that definitely hurts us a little bit. But listen, man, it is what it is, man. We've kept, other than the Baltimore game, we're always in dogfights. Like it doesn't matter. Even if we lose in the Chiefs game, in Buffalo, I think that we'll talk about it, but I think that'll be a close game regardless of, guys missing.
All right, guys. Want to go a little bit out of order here. We'll hit the Patriots and Rams game for next week on first because Zach's got to head out of here. in about 10
Oh,
minutes.
okay.
So Zach,
Yeah.
you want to kick things off with your Patriots and Rams game?
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty close game. I don't think the Patriots are going to win. I think that Rams offense has a little bit too much firepower for the Patriots to handle. But I mean, having Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua in the same wide receiver room, and their wide receiver 3, I believe it's Demarcus Robinson, has also kind of broken out in these past few games. So that's going to be a lot to handle. I mean, my guess is that Christian Gonzalez will likely stay with maybe Puka Nacua. So that should, for the most part, kind of limit Nacua there or whoever Gonzalez ends up shadowing. But it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a challenge for the Patriots defense. Also, they've kind of struggled with the run pretty significantly this year. Kyron Williams has had a very, very good season. So I don't know that they're going to really be able to stop the Rams defensively. On the bright side, Christian Barmore is going to be back for the first time this season. Suffered blood clots during training camp, made it back, practiced one day this week, and was activated to the roster today. So that's a great story. He is
That's scary.
It is. But I mean, I think that he was a Pro Bowl caliber player last year. I thought he would be an all pro caliber player this year, obviously before that situation went down. So that's a huge get back for the Patriots, having him on the D line. Great pass rusher, good against the run as well. But I still don't think it's going to be enough for the Patriots to win this game. I have 27-23 Rams. Again, I think it'll be relatively close, but I think that Rams offense is going to be a little bit too much for the Patriots to handle, and I think it'll be another good game out of Drake May. But again, it's going to be hard to stay in this game just because of the differences in star power between the teams. I mean, their top few players are significantly better, especially at skill positions, significantly better than the Patriots' top few. So that's what I got. Rams 27, Patriots 13.
Man, so we'll stick with this game, Anthony. I have no idea. I do parlays like bets here and there, and this is twice that the Patriots fucked me. Last week against the Bears and the first week of the season against the Bengals. Thank you, Patriots. So I'm never ever using them in a parlay ever again, because I don't know what team you're bringing that day. Like you guys show up at the weirdest times. Every time I think you're gonna lose, you wind up winning. So I don't know. This game was weird to me because the Rams looked like shit last week against the Dolphins at home.
Mm-hmm.
And they had their players. It's not like they were without players. They had their team set. They had everybody out there. So, and they're at home. So, in New England, the Patriots are you don't know what Patriots defense you're going to get either week to week. It seems like 1 week they're on fire. The next, they're giving up 20-something points. This game is really tough to call, man. I'm going to go, oh, man. I'll go Rams on this one, even though I have the weird feeling you guys might win. I'll go Rams here 24-23. 24-23 Rams.
Really close.
But I can honestly see the Patriots pulling this one out because they got some wins against teams I didn't think they would win. And being at home and seeing what the Rams did last week, it could happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Curtis, what do you got going
Just
on?
not what you got, Tommy. Patriots win. Noteboom and Haverstein are both out this game.
Dang, look at Curtis.
Line is no good. They lost. They had Haverstein was out last week, and the Dolphins' pass rush is not good. They got one guy, Chop, who's pretty good, and they were able to affect some real pressure on Stafford. But Haverstein was in there, and those are the top two offensive linemen. It's going to be a little bit of a windy day. It's not going to be on the turf. There's going to be a foreign environment. I like the Patriots winning because this offensive line by the Rams is not good when you take those two guys. I think it's 20-17 Patriots.
I mean, this be a good test
Nice.
for this be a good little test for the Patriots, obviously against the Rams. Patriots seem like they're kind of steering the ship a little bit here in this rebuild. Seem like they're moving in the right direction. Well, you go up against a team that's won a Super Bowl before, has a legit quarterback on the other side. Defense is not what it once was, but still pretty strong, and then offense can put points up on the board. I personally think this might be a little bit of a bigger test than the Patriots can chew on, but I could easily see this being a closer game with them being at home and everything. But I do have the Rams win this game. 24-14 was where I was at. It was pretty close to where you were at on this game, Zach. But it'll be an interesting one to see where the Patriots are really
I think
in the state of this whole rebuild.
I think it could be a coin flip game, man. I really do. I think it could go either way.
It could. I mean, it's one of those things. Like, if it's a game like the Bills came out with last week against the Colts, like they come off slow, whatever. Patriots can easily pull it off. That's what the NFL is all about. It's how you come out. If you can keep it close, then all of a sudden the game is manageable and you can see what happens. If the Patriots
Stafford was off, man, last week too.
He was
man.
off.
Stafford,
I think that's another reason why I'm leaning that way. I think this offense is going to come out a little bit pissed off that they couldn't punch it into the end zone, and whether or not they will take it on the Patriots or not will be the big question.
It'll
Zach,
be close.
I know you're going to leave in a few minutes, Zach. Do you want to give your style and profiling and Blues man for the week ahead before you head out?
Yeah, sure. Style and profiling, I got Kayshon Boutte, but honestly, I think there are a bunch of different Patriots that this one could go to. I think Drake May. I mean, he had some ups, he had some downs, but really, like, there were some very impressive throws in there. Jeremiah Farms, kind of backup D lineman, not a guy who most fans would know about, but he had a really, really strong game. And honestly, the Patriots pass rush as a whole. But as for Boutte, a guy that
Boutte.
Yeah, Kayshon Boutte. A guy that drafted in the 6th round last year. Very high ceiling type of player. He was, after his freshman year at LSU, seen as a future 1st round pick, but then kind of had some injuries, didn't really recover well from those injuries. And then when he came back to school, once he was back ready after those injuries, it was a completely new system that he was just not aligned with. So he was a high potential player. First year in New England, didn't really do anything. Second year, kind of has a strong camp, strong spring, strong summer, but then barely makes the roster. Seemed like didn't really play much in the first couple of weeks. Now these last few weeks, he has been, in my opinion, by far the Patriots' #1 receiver. And that is above guys like Kendrick Bourne, guys like Demario Douglas, who are both also pretty good players. So Kayshon Boutte, he's been the most reliable receiver for Drake May. He had that one catch at the end of the half, which was, first of all, an incredible throw by Drake May. There was a very small window there. Drake May got it into that window, but Kayshon Boutte downfield on a little crosser, gets the catch, gets down, finds the ref immediately, and because of that, the ref was able to get the ball down. Patriots snapped the ball with a second left, spiked it, field goal team comes on and gets an extra 3 points before the half. So it's little plays like that are really the difference makers, and Kayshon Boutte has honestly put himself kind of, I would say the best receiver in this Patriots receiver room, and he's just kind of separated himself from the rest of the pack as a guy who really can be a solid receiver in the NFL. And I'll go on to boo this man as well. Honestly, I don't know that there's much. The Patriots had a good game. So it's tough to say, but since he's out the door, I don't really want to boo him. He's off the team now, but just pointing out Tyquan Thornton, I mean, it's been rough. drafted in 2022 by the Patriots, second-round pick, has not done anything for the team. Had a few highlights in training camp in his rookie year and had a few highlights in training camp this year.
Oh, you guys cut him?
Yeah, today.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow. Okay.
Former second-round pick.
Yikes.
Drafted over like a guy like George Pickens. He was drafted a couple picks before George Pickens. George Pickens would also be incredible in this Patriots offense now with a guy like Drake May who can kind of deliver those 50-50 balls to him. But they got Tyquan Thornton instead, and obviously look how that turned out, cut just a couple of years later. So, again, I kind of feel bad booing him, especially now that he's off the team. I don't want to kick a man while he's down, but it's just
unless his name's Anthony, he's a Jet fan, right?
True.
Yeah.
Pick it up, Anthony. I just gotta pop this up here. Random fact: Carmelo Anthony's son commits to Syracuse. I saw it in the chat. I was gonna.
Nice.
If you're a Carmelo Anthony fan, or in my case, a Knicks fan, definitely interested in that. But anyway, yeah. No, I appreciate that, Curtis.
I'm here for you. I'm gonna be in the bottom of the barrel with you, so I got to start adding some sympathy to this round table before I start taking my beatings.
Hey, we're down there too. We're all fighting for that 2, 3, and 4 spot. You know.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to. We're supposed to be fighting for the division.
That means you get a wild card, right? For second place, you get the wild card. Is that easy?
The wild card with the Jester, the Joker. The Joker's wild card.
Yeah, Joker's wild. All right, Zach. I know you got to head out. Any other thoughts? I
appreciate you, Zach.
Of the week. Did you want to say anything?
Yeah, brother, you're a good guy, man. I like you, Zach. You're a real good guy, smart man.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I don't think I have a rant this week. Honestly, I'll have to think of something good for next week, though. I mean,
nice.
I don't know if I can top one off after my referee one like 2 weeks ago. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's always something.
That's true. That's true.
Always find something. Appreciate you. By the way, Zach, everybody, we'll be on Curtis 8 per head next week. Just let everybody know real quick.
Talk about my Dolphins on the move.
Yeah. Later, Zach. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, Zach.
Have a great weekend.
All right, so I think we'll kick it back to the style and profiling. Tommy, you want to hit things off with your Bills style and profiling?
Yeah, style and profiling. I'll give it to Teron Johnson, the best nickel corner in the NFL, in my opinion. Got a pick 6 in that game. Just everywhere around the ball, man. Solid player. We extended him way early. We're going to have to do another one soon. He is just one hell of a player, man. Always available, very rare. He's hurt. Just like I said, man, he is just he's on the field like 95% of the time. Like and that's rare. A lot of nickel corners don't see that much time on the field. So he is always on the field. So shout out to him. Definitely style and profiling. Boo this man. I guess Ed Oliver. He didn't really show up. I feel like Ed Oliver. You know, the problem with Ed Oliver for me is he is an undersized DT, and he needs a better player beside him. And Daquan Jones is not really. He's not terrible. He's just not what he was before the injury. So he's having an okay season, but we need a better DT next to Ed Oliver if that's going to work. It makes Ed Oliver play a lot better. And I'm not saying Ed Oliver's having a bad season. It's just he needs that bigger DT next to him to make Ed Oliver shine more, right? To bring on those more of the double teams and stuff like that. So, but Ed Oliver just kind of was a no-show in this game. And so was Daquan too. I got to be honest. I probably have to boo both, but I'll just point to Ed, because he is the guy that's getting paid. Like he is a pretty decent contract. So we need to correct that. I think in the offseason, the Bills will get a DT next to him to help out Ed Oliver to make that work, because we're undersized, man. Our defensive line is undersized in the NFL.
Teeny little guys.
It is, and our linebackers are as well. Like we. And matter of fact, right now we're transitioning Scene, however you want to pronounce his name, to safety to linebacker. I forget where we picked him up. Yeah, he's not a bad player, but I'm really surprised.
He was a waiver wire pickup.
Yeah, he's not bad either.
He was one of the 53-man cut down.
Yeah, we're transitioning him to linebacker, but once again, it's like Bernard, undersized linebacker, which I like, but it's how McDermott likes his defense small, so they can cover the field. But what happens is a lot of time that's when injuries pop up. That's why you see Matt Milano getting hurt a lot. Terrell Bernard gets hurt a lot. So that's the only thing about him.
Even like
only bad thing about that.
Fred Warner was even like a safety in college, like as well.
Yeah, but Fred Warner's built is a little bit bigger.
Yeah, he's definitely built more like a linebacker.
Like there's guys where you could look at their size, their height and weight, so they're the same, but they're built differently.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta be quick. You gotta be able to cover in the NFL at linebacker. A lot of like true linebackers at the college level aren't really true linebackers at the NFL level. It's one of those like hard mediums, hard things to find. But yeah, no, I hear.
Well, that's Dorian Williams' problem, and that's why we can't wait to get Matt Milano back. Dorian Williams struggles against pass coverage. Matt Milano is really good at pass coverage. So, that's why I was saying to Curtis earlier, Matt Milano being on the 21-day open window right now is really, really good for good positive news for the Buffalo Bills.
Little defense.
It will. I don't like it, but that's what McDermott wants. That's his style of defense. I'm not a fan of it, but I got to say, he makes it work for the most part. Our defense is always pretty, in the top 10 somewhere. So I can't totally hate on it. I just wish it was a little bit bigger. But anyways, style and profile, Teron, Budusman, Ed Oliver.
All right.
And I got no rant.
Okay. Curtis, do you want to give your style and profile and rant and Budusman, I mean?
I think it'll be a combo package. Calais Campbell is like 1,000 years old. I think Methuselah is younger than Calais Campbell, but he's the best player on our team. I mean, he's dominating up and down, saving our games, which is like really a joke, Like, how do you bring Methuselah in here? And he's running the show. Thankfully, he is, because he's actually helped us a couple times, and a few of them took us to victories. I'm so impressed with the guy. I love him. I think he's a real, a freak of freaks. I mean, he's still having an impact, controlling the line of scrimmage at 38 years old. Gotta love the guy. But then again, it goes back to my guy running the show, Chris Delane Greer. How do you, with all the picks you had, be the oldest team in the league, and your oldest guy is the best guy you got on your team? It's pathetic. And so I'm very grateful to see him play in the Dolphins uniform. We should have had him when he came out of the draft. I think he thought he was going to come to the Dolphins. I think we were looking at him or whatever. But it kind of shows the yin and yang of the situation, that great pickup, cheap pickup, unbelievable player. But how are you in a situation where that guy is running the show? So that's my double package. Budusman and what's the other one? The happy one? Gotus Man, or whatever it's called.
Silent profiling.
Yeah.
Well, silent profiling was Campbell, right?
I've only been
so who do you got? Who are you booing?
I told you, it was a combo package.
It was a combo package. Okay. By the way, though, real quick on your guy that you have there, Curtis. I forget his name. I believe he's an edge. It could be a tackle. No, not Chop, not your rookie. The guy that you picked up. He was on the practice squad, I think. You always talk about him. Man, I can't believe Sealer.
Oh yeah,
man, that guy is really. That guy is
tackle, not an edge.
DT tackle. Yeah, sorry, DT. He's man. That was a good find.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was a good find for you guys. So those happen, by the way. Once in a while, you get lucky and get a find like that. But he's like I never watched him play until I was watching the red zone. I'm like, oh man, this guy he has a lot of juice.
He would have been my almost be the style and profile, but Campbell was even better.
Yeah, no, Campbell's on for his age. That's unbelievable. Like at his age for doing what he's doing. Man, that was a great pickup. Great pickup for you guys too. Yep. All right. Sorry, I just had to weigh in on that one.
Nah, go for it, man. Talk about my Dolphins about something positive. I like that. Need some positivity.
All right. Anthony, let's get to next week's. Or no, you got yours, don't you? Got yours?
Yeah, I got mine too. So I guess I'll start with boo this man's a lot easier. So when everything's going wrong, you got to kind of look at the top. And, I know earlier, some of you were asking me about whether or not I believe the GM would be out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
When there's just so many issues and it shows that famous word we like to use, culture, might be the problem. Obviously, you can't fire the owner because that would be the culture changer for sure. But it would be nice. It would be nice. All these NFL's got to get involved. They got to find him in a scandal or some shit.
That would never. Yeah,
Nah,
very rare.
my
the
owner's been found in multiple scandals.
know.
He still stays.
It's very rare an owner's forced to sell. Like the Clippers owner, you'd have to really.
No, you have to really
something like
screw the pooch. Like
you'd have to, like the Clippers owner. The Clippers owner.
Snyder,
I mean, like,
Snyder.
Oh,
the guy for Carolina.
The Reds owner way back in the day. Remember the lady?
You really got to figure out a way to screw things up. The Dodgers owner a couple years ago, like he didn't have enough money to pay payroll or some shit.
Yeah, the Commanders owner.
The Dodgers. It happens.
Yeah, you're Washington. You're right. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So boo this man, the GM. Culture's a problem. It's just the way it is. I think at the end of the year he's probably out, and the Jets will be doing one of their full-on searches. Figure out the right marriage between a GM and a head coach, and obviously
Chris Greer. You can take Chris Greer. We'll give him away.
We already went down that rabbit hole with friggin' Adam Gase.
Trade for Greer.
Man, you could do it.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, trade for Greer. Give the Dolphins I don't know.
At least Greer was able to pick a good quarterback. That's
third round, fourth. What would you want, Curtis? 6th round draft pick for Greer?
I would give him $50 to take him.
$50? What a great deal!
And a six pack. Anything. Get rid of this guy.
As far as my style and profiling, obviously this game was a shit show. There's not much you can say about the players on this team. But someone I want to highlight, former Jet special teams coach. I actually have his book right here.
Got
a book signing for him. Yep.
Figure it out.
Mike Westhoff, former Jet special teams coach from 2000s to Dolphins. Yep, he was at the Dolphins too. He was in the news this week. He had to step down. Yeah, he had to step down as a Denver special teams coordinator for health issues. Wish him the best.
Amen.
He was a great coach when he was here. The Jet special teams was a big reason why they were winners and successful in the 2000s. But yeah, wish him the best from a health perspective.
Yeah, he is great.
Yep, he was awesome.
Good one.
Really
all right, time for this weekend's games. Let's do it, Anthony.
Let's do it. All right.
We already talked the Patriots, so that one's done, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Patriots are done. Got rid of that one. I guess we'll start with the Raiders and Dolphins. Oh, well, we'll wait on Dolphins because Cap D said he was going to come back. So we'll give him a little more
I don't think he would have already came back.
Ain't no return.
All right, got it. All right, so I guess we'll start with my team. Let's just get them out of the way because I'm done talking about that damn team. Colts at Jets. I'll start things off with this one. I said it joking around earlier, but I'm pretty serious about this. I know Anthony Richardson's getting the start, and he's a big guy. He can run the football. I think that's going to be a little bit of a problem in this game for the Jets. They've struggled running quarterbacks this year on multiple occasions. So this is probably the type of game. And let's be real. I mean, the Colts aren't great, but they're still a pretty decent coach team, whereas the Jets are just poorly coached at the moment. All that in perspective, this Jets team just hasn't shown me enough to really make me think that where they are favored, they should be favored and should come out with a win. We've seen them lose plenty of games this year that plenty of us said, oh, they're going to win this game, they're going to win this game, and they just come out flat, don't do enough. Although they're at home, although they're the more talented team, although you can point so many things as to why they should win, they're going to find a way to lose this game, I think. As far as the score is concerned, see, it's hard with the Jets because for the longest time I was saying, 20-14, 23. This defense is just so bad that these games just are getting even worse and worse as the weeks go on. I'm gonna go 24-14 in this one. maybe they figure something out. And Anthony Richardson, like from
Jets. You're going Jets. Jets win.
No,
Colts.
winning.
Wow.
Yeah, I just don't see it, man. This defense is terrible. This isn't doing enough good. It's a shit show.
All right, I'll go next. Man, this is tough. So the Colts have won 3 out of the last 4 against you, but that I don't always go by that. Colts offense, they're 19th overall. Their defense is 29th, pretty bad. Jets overall on offense 26, not very good either. Jets defense overall 7. Look, man, you're at home. You need this win. You're desperate. The Colts 1-4 on the road. They're not very good. You're 2-2 at home. I expect you guys to win. I do. Anthony Richardson, he's not very good as right now, at least in the passing game. Running, sure. You could tame him. You stop Jonathan Taylor. I know it's easier said than done because your rush defense isn't the best. So I think it's like 23rd or something like that, 25th against the rush. I think you guys win. I do. You have to win this game. And I think that's why you will win this game because it really is a must win. You guys lose against the Colts. It really is officially over. I think it's already over, but I think that would put a huge stamp on the season being over if you lose to the Colts. Listen, the Colts have a better record than you, but I think overall you're a better, believe it or not, you have better talent. Right now, at the quarterback position, you do, even though I was bashing Rodgers a minute ago. Rodgers, if you go matchup for matchup, is a better quarterback than Joe Flacco. You have better receivers than the Colts. I think your running backs match up well against their running back. Jonathan Taylor. So I really feel like matchup-wise, you guys match up well against the Colts. That doesn't mean you're going to blow them out or anything. But I do think you come out with the win. I'm going to go. Your offense has been really shaky, so I'm not going to give you a lot of points. I'll go 23-13, actually. 23-16. I think the Jets win.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you point out that the Colts defense hasn't been great, whatever, but our defense has just been just as poor.
I get it, but but you're going against a terrible offense, so it almost evens it. Like it almost takes that over. That's where I'm going. If they're a good offense, like even in the mid, even 15th ranked, I would say, you know what? Okay, maybe the way you guys are, but they're bad on offense, and they're going. But now they're flip-flopping quarterbacks. Now they're back to Richardson, who's been sitting out a couple games, so he's going to have a little rust as well. He's kind of one-dimensional right now, and so he could figure things out in the passing game. Their receivers aren't the best either, right? Their rookie is having an up-and-down season.
I'm with you.
So that's the only. I get it. That's the only reason I lean towards you guys. And you're at home, and really, it's a desperate win. You need this win. You have to have this win. So that's why I'm going with you guys. But doesn't mean, look, if you guys lose it, am I going to be like here next week going, I can't believe you lost? No. But I have you guys winning. Curtis?
I think that it all comes down to coaching in this game for sure. I think if anything the Jets have taught us this year is you can have all the talent in the world. If the coach is not right, none of that matters.
Your coach is an interim coach, so I don't even know if that counts right now.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
He was solid there, though, too. We still suck there, too.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but he is. I don't even know if you count that. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Curtis.
The Indy's got a really good offense.
What's up, Beth?
And that's hey, Beth, what's going on? And they have that's a really good equalizer. Offensive line plays such a huge part, and I think that really always gets left out of the equation. But Richardson is the negative. He's just so mercurial. He's up and down. He's all over the place. Yeah. Tyron Smith has been kind of like a disaster for you guys, which was sort of a surprise. But Fashuan or whatever his name is, he hasn't looked good at right tackle or guard, but he looked pretty passable last week at left tackle. Mm-hmm. So I think offensive line's good. If your offensive line plays like trash, you're going to lose. If they can play even mediocre, I think the talent that you have is superior to the Colts and you'll win. because I just think Richardson's too up and down, and it's not in the nice controlled stadium, and you guys are desperate. I'll give it to you. I don't know why. I wasn't going to, but Tommy talked me into it. I'll say 21-17 Jets. I mean,
look at that. The Jets fan picking the hey, maybe we'll give you a little bit of good luck there, Anthony.
I have good friends trying to make me feel better about my team on this.
Maybe that's what we did. Me and Curtis, we actually talked
like
prior.
Talk me off the ledge.
We're like, let's
get away. Zach kicked you in the ground and stomped you out, man.
Come back, it'll be fine. Oh, jeez. Anyway, so yeah, next game we'll talk about.
I give you a chance though.
We'll go with the Chiefs Bills on the small chance that maybe Cap D pops back on, but I doubt it. But we'll go with Chiefs Bills.
No, he's done.
Tom, you want to start things off with this one?
Yeah. Okay. So the Raiders' offense is terrible. They rank 29th overall. Their defense is in the middle of the pack, 15th. Dolphins' offense 20th, and the Dolphins' defense overall 10th. I think the Dolphins win this game, even though I don't want them to. But I will say this about the Raiders. The Raiders they remind me a lot like the Cardinals. Like, they have games where they do show up and can pull a surprise win. They did beat the Ravens, right? The almighty Ravens. Just throwing that out there. So they're any given Sunday, right? And the Raiders are one of those teams that happen to.
I was in Baltimore too.
To pull, yeah. So like the Raiders are just a weird team. They're a bad team, but like I said, they can show up here and there and surprise people. The Dolphins are 1-3 at home. It's not like this is an unstoppable team at home. They're not. They haven't played good this season at home. They haven't really played good. They haven't played good that season at all. However, I think Tua's starting, to get back in the swing of things. Though last week it wasn't great performance. I think he's knocking that rust off, from that 4-week layoff that he had. I don't see that the Raiders can beat the Dolphins in Miami. Like I said, the only way it would have to be is if the Raiders just had one of those games, and I just don't see it. Gardner Minshew, I like him, but as a backup, I think he's a really good backup. But as a starter, no. And like I said, man, their defense is okay. I just don't. I think the Dolphins right now, man, they're a lot like the Jets as far as.
Whoa! We don't need to get cruel here. Let's not get nasty.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Nasty, man. It was all nice.
But
now you're calling the Jets.
No, I'm just trying. Listen, I'm saying you guys
next to the Muttley.
You can't afford to lose against the Raiders. I'm being nice. I'm picking you guys. I'm about to pick you guys. Now, I haven't picked you both your teams in 2 weeks. I picked you both to lose. So this week I got you both to win. I got the Dolphins winning this game. There's just too much on the line for the Dolphins. You can't afford to lose to the Raiders. You have to win games that you're supposed to win, and this is a game that you're supposed to win against a bad Raiders team. So I'll go 27-20. Dolphins pull it out.
Hot to trot.
That's it.
All right, Curtis,
Curtis?
Give your takes on this game.
Well, you're missing one thing, Tommy, like you usually do. If we lose this game, it would be even great. It would be 5D chess when we go to the Super Bowl. So if we lose this game, it would just make us look even better on our route to the Super Bowl. So we got to keep that in mind. We're entering string theory of multi-layer, multi-dimensional operations. So I think we should win. But the Dolphins are doing what the Dolphins do that nobody else can do. So 2 weeks ago, we lost Jackson, our right tackle, in practice. Jones, our backup, who we decided to make a starter, he's injured. And we might have Cotton. His name's Cotton, and he plays softer than that. He might be left guard. We got Eichenberg and Brewer. And now Drum roll, please. The Dolphins. Teron Armstead has missed practice all week and might not be able to play this week. So the Raiders have a pretty good offensive line. The guy we should have drafted, Jackson Powers Jackson, is going to be at center, and they have a pretty darn good offensive line. If we win, if Teron plays, if he doesn't, we're going to have to put our rookie Paul in, who's a giant but is raw, and we will probably lose then. If Teron's in, we win, I think, 23-14. But if Teron's out, I think we lose. And I think we lose like 24-17.
Wow, Curtis, what is going on with you guys today?
We have no offensive line, dude. We have
both of you.
We got 32-year-old Lamb. Listen, just think about our offensive line. Lamb at right tackle, Eichenberg at right guard. Brewer is serviceable, but he's 280 pounds. And then Cotton, who's a practice squad player, might be starting at left guard. And then Paul, who I like, but is super raw at left tackle. And then you got what's his face, the right end. What's his name on the Raiders?
Oh, Crosby?
Yeah, Crosby. So you got Crosby, and he's going to have a free run on somebody. So I don't really like it. I think Teron's out. It's very, very bad for us. But if he's in, I think we win.
Okay. All right. So it really depends on that situation. I got you.
Oh, yeah.
That's fair enough. I just think you win.
Your offensive line is pretty good.
The way your defense play, if your defense, though, honestly, I think it goes more about your defense. If your defense plays the way you did last week, as far as
they played no offensive line last week. Look,
listen, I get it, but I understand, but that's the Rams have a good offensive. They have weapons all over the field. I'm just saying they are a lot better than what they. But okay, but the Rams are still putting up more points than they did normally, right? I'm just saying, you guys. Yeah,
when they had their
finally, I got it, but I still feel like your defense played a whole football game, right? Instead of just because I feel like your Dolphins defense has been strong in the first half and has been weak in the second half. If you guys can do this against the Raiders, what you did last week, not blow it in the second half, you guys should win regardless.
In all honesty, seriously, a lot of that is because we lack depth on our defensive line. And so a good offensive line wears them out. And in the second half, they make some adjustments and we're pretty much gassed and beat up. And then they start having their way because the offense kind of takes a little control and then their defense is a little rested. But the Rams, I'm telling you, the Rams offensive line was a travesty. That's why I think the Patriots are going to win. Both those guys are going to be out this week.
But the Raiders' offense is not good either.
But their offensive line's pretty good. And their offensive line's pretty good.
Yeah, but their overall offense is not showing.
No, they got Scott Jones. Scott Jones, the new OC. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult because we're not going to know exactly what he's kind of doing.
I got that. Now that could be a factor. That definitely.
Tommy, think about it. Remember how we looked against you? We scored like 17 points against the Jags. And our offensive line is going to be the worst incarnation of the season if Teron's not in. If he's in, I think we win. But if he's not, I'm scared.
I'm with you. We'll see. Like I said, I just, man, the Raiders are, like I said, though, it depends what Raiders team shows up to. I think, and because they're a weird team like that. All right, Anthony.
They are weird. They are a weird team. And I think NFL works in a weird way sometimes, like especially a game like this where Dolphins come off a big win. Do they have that like big win?
Also, guys, they're coming off a bye week and we're on a short week.
So they're well rested. Okay, so that could also play a factor. I still got you guys winning, but I won't be surprised if you lose.
I'm trying to tell you.
Same with the Jets. Jets. It's not. I'm not going to sit here and be surprised next week. All right, go ahead, Anthony.
The Jets have had 2 games where they've had 10 days of rest, because they play a Thursday night game and then a Sunday, and have lost both those games. So sometimes that just doesn't work out in your favor. Yeah. But anyway, I think with this game, might be a hangover type of situation. I just have a weird feeling with this one. with the Raiders coming out. I have the Raiders win this one 24-20.
Oh, Anthony, I picked you. How do you do this to me, Anthony? How do you do this to me, man?
I've reached. I think I've unfortunately reached that, like the way
I knew
Zach
it was
was
you,
when the season
Fredo. I
started.
knew it was you all along.
I think I've reached that point where Zach was in the beginning of the season, where he's like, I know we're rebuilding, but I'm just hoping for misery for everyone else. Well, that's kind of where I
Oh man.
Okay, at least you're being honest.
just reach everyone. If I have to be miserable, so do you. All right.
Don't worry, I'm the most miserable man there is. Dolphins fan.
Oh my god.
And when we play the Dolphins in a couple weeks, our team will make us both miserable and end up in a tie or some shit, probably.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god.
Right, draw.
Explode, spontaneously explode.
Yeah. And it won't even be like, okay, it's an interesting game, like 30-30 going into overtime. Nope, it'll be like 6-6 going into overtime. It's like, oh, this game is never going to end.
Just think about how bad it would be if somehow the Patriots have a higher record than both of us.
I don't think it's like outside the realm of possibility.
No, I don't think so either. No, I don't.
We're freaking with 10 games
It
in,
is.
and they're right there.
It is definitely a possibility.
Could you imagine that?
We've reached that point, Curtis. We've reached that point where you gotta start looking at what's possible. I mean, me especially. I mean, for me, thinking this team had a shot at somehow, making the wild card, possibly win division, and to just be this miserable.
Oh, let's not feed into it, man. I don't want Zach. He's probably sitting someplace smiling, feeling it in his soul. Let's not feed that guy.
He's enjoying our misery.
Yeah.
No, he makes it obvious he is too. Let's not pretend he's pretending. He
loves it.
He loves our misery. Anyway, all right. So let's move along to the Chiefs and Bills game of the week. Really, if you look at it from what it could be, especially for your Bills. Tommy, let's start it off.
Yeah, game of the week for sure, man. This is basically a primetime game. CBS wanted this game. They got it on a primetime slot pretty much. Chiefs overall 10th on offense. Overall, they're 4th on defense. Really, I feel like that's what's holding their team together is their defense right now. I feel like their offense is a little bit shaky still this year. Offense overall for the Bills, 14th, 18th overall on defense. The turnover differential is what stands out for us. We're really good this year. Minus 13, Chiefs are minus 4. So we win that battle. We're really good at turning the ball over on that. But look, man, we're missing players on the offense. We haven't really been getting out the gate strong, even with our guys healthy. You do see the difference with Cooper out there. So I think it will really, man, if Cooper plays, it helps so much. Because you saw the first 2 games with Cooper just being out there. Keon Coleman had his career high. Our offense was a lot better, a lot smoother. Without him, it went back to being clunky and just very basic. And, last week, too, I feel like, going against Colts, we could have used our tight ends more. We didn't. Against a very bad defense against the tight ends, we didn't exploit that. So I hope the guy Joe Brady, if Amari's not available, that he schemes up. He has a good scheme going against this Chiefs defense because they're no joke. They are no joke. They will get to you. Chris Jones is a game wrecker. You can't get out the gate sloppy.
Nope.
And if we're missing Cooper, you have to see what their weaknesses are. Even though it's probably not a lot, you still have to exploit them. I think every team has a weakness that you can exploit somewhere. So if that's getting the ball quickly out of Josh's hands, so the running back, quick screens, whatever you got to do to make it work, make it work. I think this is going to be I think we're going to lean to the run more in this game, in my opinion. I think we're going to go to James Cook. We're going to use a little bit of Ray Davis more in this game. Time of possession is going to be very important in this game as well. Turnover battle, obviously, like I said before, we are really good at turnovers, creating turnovers. So that will be important. Mahomes this year, he has turned the ball over. So if we can get turnovers on their side of the field, and by the way, too, get 7 instead of 3, right? That's a big deal too. Getting points in the red zone.
Momentum.
Not just like settling for 3. We need touchdowns, especially against the Chiefs. 3 won't do it. So this is going to be a tough game, but I will say it's in Buffalo. Bills Mafia is going to be loud. It's a tough place to play. We have always played the Chiefs very good. There's also an X factor, Dawson Knox, who has played very well against the Chiefs. Not doing great this year because we're not really using him much. Well, I think this game he does shine because he's shined before against the Chiefs. We are 3-1 against the Chiefs in the regular season. We're not bad against them, right? We have a winning record against the Chiefs in the regular season. So it can be done. It can be accomplished. It wouldn't shock me if the Bills win because we've done well against them in the regular season. So postseason that they catch us. Our defense has to do the defense has to be on their game, and they have to put pressure on Mahomes. You cannot let Mahomes sit back there and pick you apart. I don't care if you sack Mahomes, just get pressure on him. Pressure will create turnovers. Pressure will cause mistakes. And that's what you want. Gregory Rousseau's been doing that really well this year. I think he's third in the NFL in pressure rate. Get to him. Get after him. Von Miller, same with you. Get after him. Make him throw the ball away. Make him make mistakes in this game. The run defense, I think Pacheco's playing. I'm not sure.
He's out.
I saw that.
He's out.
He's out. That's a positive for the Bills. Big positive for the Bills because our run defense has not been so hot this year. But yeah, I think this is going to be a close game. It always is. It always is. If anyone thinks the Chiefs are going to blow us out or we're going to blow the Chiefs out, they're mistaken. They are mistaken because that's not how these games go. None of them. I do think the Bills win. I think it's very close. I'm going to go 27. I think I said on my Friday show, I think I went 27-24. 27-24. I think the Bills pull it out, maybe late minute, last second field goal. Tyler Bass wins it. And maybe we stop them on with their last possession. But either way, I think we pull it out 27-24. I think it's a very close game. But it can go either way. It can really go either way.
Tommy's got that Tyler Bass confidence now. Huh?
I'll tell you what, Tyler, I will say this. Speaking of Tyler Bass, speaking of Tyler Bass, I said all year long, and y'all remember, and I don't know if y'all remember me saying this, but I've been saying this really since the offseason. The only way Tyler Bass can get out of this funk, because he really was in a funk last year too, is because kickers, man, it's really all, honestly, a lot of it has to do with confidence, right? Kickers, big time confidence. They'll lose it. It's tough to get back. I think I said it. He needs to make a game-winning field goal, and it has to be meaningful. That 61-yard might have got that dude's confidence back. He's kicked a lot better.
Hey, you don't gotta rub that in, man. Let's move on. Okay,
I'm sorry. It was a bit. It was. I'm just saying.
Right.
I get it. I'm just throwing. Listen. It was a big moment for the kid. He's, I know you don't, who follows kickers, but he's had a rough outing this year. We brung in kickers in practice to compete. You never want that as a kicker. He knew the heat was on. If he didn't make that kick, the heat would have really been on. And now that pressure's off. That pressure is off. He can feel free again. The confidence is back that he knows that his team believes in him. That means a lot for a kicker. So, you had already saw it since that kick. You could tell his field goals are a little bit different, cleaner down the middle. So I'm happy for the guy, and I hope he continues to make field goals.
All right, this is not the best hour over here. Okay, man?
We're around the campfire now.
Listen, you guys have a good kicker yourself. What are you talking about? Sanders a good kicker.
Well, I'm not doing opining an hour's worth of poetic prose over his.
Well,
life.
I'm just saying.
He kicked the field goal, Tommy. That's all he did. He hurt people.
Well, sorry. By the way, did you see how bad? You see how bad the Eagles kicker is now?
Oh yeah.
Did they even cut him? I mean, my God, he's. And now, did you guys, Anthony? You guys cut your kicker? What happened to him?
Send Bass to brotherly.
You guys cut him
so much. Send him to the brotherly love, and you take that guy.
So the Jets kicker was having a poor year.
Yeah, Zerline, right?
Yeah, they put him on IR.
That's what. Okay.
But it's kind of like a IR where you don't cut him type of thing. I think is really what was going on, because a situation where they take on dead cap if they would have cut him. So I think that's really what happened there.
Okay.
His replacement kicker came in from the practice squad, had a good game, and because the Jets didn't elevate him to the active roster afterwards, he got picked up by the Chiefs. So you'll be seeing.
Oh, that's right. You know what? You're right, because Bucker is out. You are right about that. I totally forgot. I didn't even realize it was your guys. Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
This will be the Jets' luck. So we trade away Mike Williams. He has a game-winning touchdown against So this Riley Patterson is going to have a critical kick in this game against you guys. Come away with a game-winning kick. So I guess we'll talk about this game. I think that's just the nature of how the Jets season has gone. We were having kicking problems. We had a kicker that had a successful game. Didn't keep him around, and the rich get richer. The Chiefs find a kicker that's actually not saying Bucker can't win him games. I'm not saying that. But
yeah, he's an excellent kicker, bro.
Yeah, he's an excellent kicker for sure. Guy's basically automatic if the game is on the line. Vinatieri status with his kicking. I'll go with the Chiefs in this one. I think a big problem for the Bills this season has been the slow starts. We talked about it earlier, and you alluded to it as well, Tommy. I think those slow starts, in the games that you guys have been successful against the Chiefs, for the most part, you guys have gone off to quicker starts. I think that really is going to be the difference in this game, whether or not you guys are able to get off to those fast starts. You guys are going to have the crowd behind you, so that may kind of change things in that direction. But the last thing you want to do as Chiefs team is make them think they have a chance in the second half. Cobra Kai, what does it say?
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. That's what the Bills should. They should put that in the locker room. Go ahead.
I think it really just comes down as simple as that. If you want to beat the Chiefs, make sure you have a lead on them, because if this game is close in the third and fourth quarter, Mahomes is going to make those plays. It's reached the point where it's not if he's going to make those plays, is when is he going to make those plays. He's that quarterback. He just has a different player in third and fourth quarter. Just there's no way around it. I
agree.
The only game I think in his career where he just looked like a complete mess or a disaster was against Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. Outside of that, it's just been the same thing every week when that guy's playing quarterback. If this game is close late in the game, like I said, mentioned earlier, Riley Patterson's have come away with a game-winning kick. I'll go 24-21 Chiefs.
Wow. All right, Curtis, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the NFL wants the three-peat and the perfect season roll up into one. Last week, that beating the Broncos the way they did, and then about 5 or 6 times during the season where they got penalties, I just gave them the edge or whatever. I don't know. I think I would want you to win. I'll be rooting. I hated it, man. My son, he loves football now, so he goes through the list, and he's like, "Oh, Daddy, Bills are playing KC." He's like, "Who are you rooting for?" I said, "I hate the KC, man." And I said, "I'm rooting for the Bills." He's like, "Go Bills." I'm like, "Don't ever say that again." Well, this just is 1 week.
Yeah, smart kid. What a good kid. He knows Curtis. Get him that Allen jersey. Are you getting him Allen jersey for Christmas, though?
Yeah, and we're going to use it to potty train him.
Nice.
We're going to use it to clean his bum.
Unreal. Unbelievable you are, Curtis. Go ahead.
So I don't know. I want you to win. I just got, if Cooper's in, maybe. I know Brown's got a bad ankle too. And, I don't know. Their DC is unbelievable. They have the ability to put leverage on you with their receivers. Kelsey's not the same, but he's annoying. The running back, I forgot who they picked up, that the guy they used to have or whatever. He's still dangerous. Now, Morris, their left tackle's weak, and maybe Rousseau can take advantage of that. And I'm hoping for you to win, but I just think something's going to happen where they're just going to get the thing where, they give them. I really think the NFL wants them to go undefeated in three-peat. I think it's like in the cards, sort of. And I don't want that. So I'm rooting for you. My heart says hopefully it's 24-21 you guys, but ultimately I think it's going to have to be like 27-21 them.
Kareem Hunt, by the way, is what you meant, right? The running back filling in, which is a great pickup by them, by the way. They loved it. By the way, that's why they keep winning Super Bowls. They make a lot of right decisions on guys they pick up. And but you're right, Anthony, as well. Like people are talking like, the Chiefs haven't, they haven't scored 30 all year or whatever. How many games? Bro, this is the Super Bowl winning team back to back. Like,
hey guys, bro, I got to make an emergency go. My wife pulled in a rainstorm and she needs me to get the groceries in, guys.
All right, go, Curtis.
Gotta go before I'm in
later,
trouble.
brother.
Be good.
Bye. Yeah.
Sorry,
so anyway, so Anthony, listen, man, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They are the team to beat. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how bad you think their offense is playing, what you got to say. People talk look, man. I said this in the beginning of the season when we started it, when we did this AFC East, and I do believe this. Like the Jets, no, I'm not knocking you guys, but the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Patriots, they're all chasing us, right, for the East.
Mm-hmm.
We're chasing the Chiefs, and we've been chasing the Chiefs, right? I think every AFC contender is the Ravens, teams that really believe they have a shot. There's only one team, and I don't care how bad they're playing or you think they're playing. They are 9-0. First of all, I ain't playing that bad. And they're Super Bowl champions, and they've gone there. They've been there, done that. We haven't proven that yet, that we can beat them when it counts. And that's why I said, even if we win this game, it don't really mean anything yet, because you still got to see them in the playoffs. Absolutely. So, yes, it's awesome. Of course, I'll be happy if we win, which I think we can. But at the end of the day,
definitely can. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. At
the end of the day, though, they are the team to beat, right? And I don't care how bad they're playing, like on offense. They are still, as long as they got Andy Reid, as long as they got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, and as long as they got Chris Jones on defense, they are going to be a tough out. So that's what I got to say about them. That's why I don't. Listen, when Chiefs fans come at me like, oh, bro, I'm like, hey, look, I can't even debate you. I can't. Like, you guys are the kings of the AFC right now. Yeah, there's no, but I will say this. We give them the hardest matchup every single time. You look back in the playoffs, we give them a fucking dogfight. So regardless of who we have out there, injuries, we always show up. That's why I think this game is going to be a dogfight, because it always is. And that's why, like, if anyone thinks this is going to be a blowout by any team, they're crazy. There's no way the Chiefs are blowing us out, and there's no way we're blowing them out. This is going to be a fucking dogfight, and it's probably going to come down to who has the ball last, more than likely. That's all I got to say.
I would say, like, from a blowout perspective, I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. Because even if it's trending in that direction, I think, the way the NFL officials go, they want eyes on this game. They'll make their little mark to make sure it stays close. But I would say if this game were to be a blowout, I think you'd have more of a chance that the Bills blow it out than the Chiefs, just because of the way the Chiefs play. Not saying the Chiefs can't rattle off points and stuff like that. They could definitely do that. But I think the Bills have that tendency of, like, if they start fast, they'll continue down that trend. They eventually hit a stride where they'll start scoring points regardless, but they usually, if they start fast, they'll finish strong. Like, that's really the way it is. And that's where they have those 30-point games. That's where those pop up. I just don't think it's possible. I mean, not saying it's not possible. I just don't think it's probable with the way that the Chiefs come out in the game plan. They're always ready on defense. And the Chiefs offense, although they may not be putting up, 1,000-yard games, like killing it like they once did with Mahomes when he first got there, they just know what's required. They just know, let's just keep this game close, keep it close. Let's manage the game from the first quarter on. Patrick Mahomes doesn't have to throw 350 yards like he did in his rookie year, or he didn't play his rookie, his first year as a starter, because that defense was terrible back then. Like, that's what he needed to do in order to win games, was just run up the score. That's what he had to do. Now, he has strong defense. He doesn't have to worry about that. He literally just has to worry about, let me just not make mistakes. Let me just make sure we're good. And once the third, fourth quarter, I'm going to make those plays.
Yeah. But he could do that because he has a defense to back him. You get what I'm saying? He knows the defense is always going to keep a game in reach, right? No matter how many turnovers he has. No, Coleman's not playing. So Keon is more than likely Keon will return after the bye. We didn't put him on IR. So he'll return against the 49ers. So we got the 49ers right after the bye in Buffalo. More than likely he'll return. I think Amari is playing, which is actually, I'll be honest with you, I'd rather have Amari playing than Coleman playing if I can only choose one, because Amari is going to bring more of that attention on the defense, even if he doesn't do much. And I'll be honest with you, I don't expect him, even if he's out there, he's not going to be a stat stuffer, but he's going to make a difference. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see that, for Cooper being out there. So it'll be close, bro. It will be definitely a fun game to watch. And I think for any NFL fan, this is going to be a game you want to tune into.
Oh, for sure.
And that's it, man. We've been on here 2 hours and motherfucking 30 minutes. This has been a longest show. So, Anthony, wrap us up.
Been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
guys. Everyone in the comments, appreciate you guys joining. It was a fun episode. Very heated, I would say, for the middle of it. But
we were
had a lot of fun,
especially on the Jets talk, huh?
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
we got serious there for a minute.
No, but it was fun. It was all fun.
It was all fun. Listen, man, it was all fun, Anthony. I love it, man. And I told you guys, I don't know if I told the chat or if you guys are even in here still. I'm debating if we're going to return next year. I'm swinging more, maybe so, but it might be on a different time. It's probably still on Saturdays if we do this again, guys, but maybe earlier on a Saturday. This way,
better, yeah.
The chat can get out there and have fun on their Saturday, and we can get out there and do our thing. So if we do return, it'll probably be Saturday early afternoon, 1 o'clock or something, compared to, or 12 even, compared to 4. So just throwing that out there. Next week, guys, we will be on Curtis's channel, Ace Per Head. I'll also put the link in my YouTube as well. So, Anthony, get us out of here, man.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining. And hope you enjoy this weekend's games. And let's go Jets, Jets, Jets.
Go Bills.